What the? Well, that's a hell of a way to start off. Welcome to Thursday with a Friend, and I have no idea why things got switched up. Thank you, StreamYard. But anyway, thank you for joining. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to the show here, Thursday with a Friend is about bringing on somebody in the community or someone who's just supported me, whether it be through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, just in my personal life. They supported me in this weird, crazy journey. And this guy, I've met him now, I think it's been 3 times, PowerCon, and 2 Joe Fests. Wonderful guy. Does a wonderful show Saturday mornings. You can get me up every single Saturday to do a toy show. But anyway, my special guest, Casey from Podcast from the Pit. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. It's been a long time, and there's a lot of people that have asked to do the show. A lot of people want to do the show. I try and mix it up. I don't want to have a whole bunch of Joe fans or like Joe guys on, or I like to keep it mixed up and again bring on new people, maybe that aren't as popular, maybe in the community or whatever. So I know it's been a long time coming. I don't want you to think that you were being ignored.
I figured when the time was right, it would happen.
That's my favorite, and that is my favorite attitude for someone to have, just to understand that, hey, you know what? There's one a week. I have not had a duplicate guest yet or a repeat guest. Eventually, it's going to have to happen. It's getting a lot harder. I'll be 100% honest. It's getting harder and harder to do. But I always had you in mind, always right there. And you guys have been killing it on Saturday morning. So, which is,
it's been a lot of fun.
Sometimes I wake up and I see it on and I tune in there and I think, what the hell are these guys doing up? Good for you. You're not going to catch me doing a Saturday toy show. If someone asked me, I mean, I've done shows early on where it's like a one-off. Someone needed me to come on, or that's one thing. But
right,
even though I'm normally up anyway. But anyway, how is your week going?
Glad it's over.
Is it over?
I took tomorrow off because I knew I'd be up late tonight, and I go to bed early normally. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a vacation day. I get them all back in 2 weeks. So,
and you did say, hey, you said, hey, and you were supposed to come on for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna do a pre-recorded one, and so much stuff got thrown in, and then all of a sudden I realized I don't have time to record it, because normally I'll do these ahead of time. And I throw all this together and we can record it. But as I was moving on and I messaged him like, hey, I totally forgot. Can we postpone it? And you were totally cool about it. And then you messaged me, and this was great timing because you're like, hey, I'm free all of January to do it live if that works out better. Because I was about to message you and ask you, say, hey, is there any time you can do it live? Because the last pre-recorded one that I did, very few people watched it. And I'm not one of those people that I care about the numbers, but it sucked because it was such an awesome interview and someone gave me 3 hours of their time that we recorded and very few people watched it. And I'm like, there was so much that was said in there, so much that he brought to the table, and it sucks that so few people watched it. And I really want this to be live, and the interaction is really what drives a show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, again, thank you so much. Let's quickly, there's 32 people that tuned in to watch you. Let's say hi to the chat really quick. This guy you probably had in there. I bet you've never said his name properly, and that is Menhuza. We have Joe ARH. U.S. Combat Dojo. We have Mamu and Nestor, or my moderator. We have Machine Man jumping in here. We have Wreck Ship 85, who is a shit starter, right?
Oh yeah.
And here's another one, Ronnie Trickshot, Hillbilly Harper, who you also do a show with on
Nice.
Saturday. We have 3-star Drawl, Joe Hunter, who also I believe is on the show.
Quite a
Is
bit. Yeah.
all the time? Not all the time.
No. It's just basically it's just me and Hillbilly, but we
That's what I
run
thought.
a bunch of our friends in there constantly just because we love hanging out and talking to them.
Which is what that's what this is about, right? Steve Martin is here. We have Troy Bleefert, Cobb Webb jumping in here, and then we have Ultra Match. We have Crash, who I think you just recently had on, but Crash won't show his face. So if you don't show your face, you can't be on Thursday with a friend. I'm letting you know. But he was kind enough to donate 1 Punk membership, so you get the
Welcome to the Creamery.
And that person that got it is, I don't know. I don't even see who got it, which is kind of odd. Normally, Super Davin. I think it messed me up because it's actually highlighted as a channel member. Like, oh wait, that's right. They're a channel member now. Cooter's Garage is jumping in. We have a Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. I always want to say Wilhelm Scream. Great 118th guy. So I know this guy is awesome. Like, I don't know if I told you the first year at Joe Fest, I thought he was like a short fat guy.
Me too. Yeah.
And come to find out, as I'm pulling it underneath the garage, there's crazy guys like waving at me. And I'm like, I think that's Wilhelm. I was with Travis and Tony. And sure, here he is. And I realized who he was. And then come to find out, he thought that I was Sergeant Slaughter. That's why he was waving at me.
Yeah. He's going to be on the show Saturday morning.
Oh, look at that. You're able to get him up. And he's a wonderful guy. Wonderful guy. We have Alex Martinez jumping in here. We have One in Toys. I have never seen this name, so you know what you're gonna get. You get the.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Do you know who One in Toys is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's always watching on the pit, and he's got his own channel. It's really pretty good. I think he's just starting out.
And with this one, Matthew, you don't even have to send me a message whether he's been here or not, because he literally says first time catching the live stream. And Kudos Garage says that was an awesome interview with JMK Customs. Anyone that hasn't watched it should check it out. Yes, that is the one that I was talking about. So thank you very much. And let's see, we have Tony's Figs jumping in here. That asshole. Or, sorry, this asshole, Sergeant Reds, who I just had on last week. That was a real fun one too. So, all right, let's find out a little bit about you.
All right.
Do you mind me asking how old you are, where you were born, and what was the family life like?
I am old. I am 53. I'll be 54 in March. Born in Shelbyville, Indiana. But most of my time I've been in Columbus, Indiana. Family life was great. We didn't have a lot of money. I know a lot of people say that, but we didn't. We lived on a farm for 6 years that my parents had to work for us to live there. It wasn't our farm.
Okay.
It was the landlord's.
Okay.
And both my parents were disabled, so they did what they could.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they were both are disabled and working on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you can. I mean, I don't know how disabled they were, but I don't know how much you can do. I feel like that's one of those like you see farmers, and there's a reason why your country's strong, right?
Right. Yeah. It's my dad had heart issues. I've got heart issues, but they're different. I mean, they're not hereditary. So, I mean, his was bad. I never knew my dad when he wasn't sick.
Okay.
Pretty much right after I was born, they started having the heart problems.
People tell me I have heart issues too, but it's mostly because I'm cold-hearted. But Paul Morales is jumping in here saying hello, everybody. I totally jumped over, and I should have, and I shouldn't. So we're gonna get back to this. Your name, not the name Casey. Where does the name Podcast from the Pit come from? I should have. I that's usually the first one I got over anxious talking about myself, as my moderators will tell you.
2019, me and my best friend Matt, we started Podcast from the Pit together, and just because we just started buying Joes again, our childhood Joes, and we were just talking smack about each other's and the like favorites and stuff. And my wife's like, "You guys should just do a show." We're like, "All right, whatever." So we're trying to come up with a name. We come up with some like ones that we shouldn't use. And I was just like, you know what? We're going to do a podcast. G.I. Joe has the pit. Let's.
So we're going to need your social security number after this, too.
He was just on last week.
Cobb?
Yeah.
Cobb is awesome.
He is great.
Yeah, that's why you did a Motu one. I didn't catch that one because I actually slept in because I think I did a show till 4 a.m. that day.
Yeah. I was so happy to get to do a Motu show. It was awesome.
I'm sorry about the viewership, though. I have no idea what it was, but I'm assuming
like 25 watching live. That's not bad for 8 a.m. on Saturday.
No. I just again, it used to be one of the craziest things watching the numbers on Monday night, and it was like, my God, I don't talk about Motu for that long.
Hey, I'm glad you talked about Motu. That's what got me into it. So
you told me. I remember when you told me, and I kind of felt bad that I no longer.
It doesn't matter. It makes me happy.
I know, but you're like, you got me into it. And there was a lot of origins to get to.
Yeah. I finally got my Gray Stratos.
Now,
it's the Origins, the first one, the Gray Stratos, not the cartoon collection, but the other.
I think I have. Do I have that one? I have one that someone didn't want, so I still have a few Origins that are sitting in a box that I need to get rid of.
Yeah, so I was happy to get them. Me and Rex Ship was out toy hunting and we found it.
Yeah, I actually have that original one that Johnny Reno sent me. All right, so basically, Podcast on Pit came from you and your buddy starting to pick up the original Real American Hero, which again, that was well before Classified anyway. Not well before, but before Classified came out. Mm-hmm. And you just decided, let's do. Well, your wife basically told you, stop doing about G.I. Joe, go do a show.
Yeah, I got a very supportive wife, so I'm very happy, very lucky.
No, and that's great. I mean, that's great. I've mentioned I have been single for over 10 years now. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to justify where I spend my money. As long as, my kids are taken care of, the roof is, the bills, I don't have to justify it. And here comes Maximum Warp. I know he's on the show all the time also. So Max great to have him in. Max he was one of those crazy guys that came up to me at Joe Fest. And we started chatting. He was telling me how, he watches my reviews, and I'm like, he's doing. I'm like, do you have an Instagram? He's like, no. Should I start one? I'm like, yes. Like, it is the easiest form of self promotion. It's free. And you already have the pictures for your thumbnails. And I think it was like that day that he put up and I think in all of this, I don't think he ever posted the picture of him and I together, which I noticed these things.
I don't think you like the pictures I take of me and you because you're always like, you make me look short.
Everyone makes me look short. It was brought to my attention at Assembly Required. I took a shot with Mike from podcast. Mike from What's on Joe Mind and Talking Joe, and I'm in the middle, and I didn't realize it's not only how small I am, but just how massive those two people are.
Yeah,
and it makes me look that much worse.
Yeah, I usually run into Mike about probably 3 times a year at shows and I ran into him at a toy store up in Indianapolis about 6 months ago.
Yeah, you guys are you guys are in the same area, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And we have Beardy McBeardison jumping in and saying, I just popping in to say hi to everyone and hit the like button, joining the replay gang on this one. Have a good night, all. Thank you very much. All right. So we did jump ahead to where you were at. You're 53, almost 54. So that tells me you were born, what, 71?
72.
72. That's right, because I was born in 75, but literally like 3 days before 76. So like right on that cusp. So 72. So we're in the same age. Although the people that are born in like 72, especially because I'm basically a 76 baby. You guys got to experience Star Wars. Most of you got to experience Star Wars. Okay, you did not because your parents hated you. I'm sorry. No,
I did not see Star Wars until it was on VHS. So all my Star Wars toys that I played with, it was all up here. My brain, my head canon. I made up my own story.
wow, that's nuts. That's crazy. But let's get into it. So you said you didn't have a lot of money, but you raised on a farm with your parents who you said both had disabilities. Now, did you have any siblings?
I have an older brother.
Okay, how much older?
About almost 2 years.
Okay, so you kind of had a built-in play friend because though that age is big when one's in the high school and one's still in middle school. But once you're pretty much the same most of the time, I think. Quickly, we'll say hi to GI Jetman jumping in and say, hey, Punk, Casey, and chat. Long live Motu. We have Royal Rooster Collectibles.
Yep.
I don't know where I got roller coasters from. It's been a long week. Gun Bunny Customs jumping in here. All right. All right. So, do you remember not the first toys you fell in love with, but the first toys that you remember actually playing with?
Yeah, got a lot of hand-me-downs. My uncles, because my mom, my grandma got married again and had kids, and they were only about 10 to 12 years older than me.
Okay.
So I got a lot of their hand-me-downs, like the 12-inch Joes, the Migos, the superheroines. And a lot of the Green Army Men, I played with those.
We've talked so little about Army Men here, and that, in all honesty, some of the funnest times that I ever had playing, because you didn't have to worry about standing them. They stood unless if they were stepped on, and then they didn't stand. If you lost one, you weren't freaking out because you didn't even realize you were missing it, right? It's like, oh, well, one got lost, and you were going to find another one. You always had the good guys, which were green, and the bad guys, which were normally gray, and the Germans. Sorry, Germany. They were clearly the Germans. And you do a base, a setup, a battle, and then boom, everyone's knocked down, and you're right back to doing it. I love the Army Men. It's so much fun.
We used to set up, we got just a little bit older. We get like did you ever have you might have been too young, the Navarone Castle?
It does not sound familiar.
There was a movie about it and everything with Harrison Ford, but we would get two of them. My uncles would buy them. We'd all get together and we'd set up a castle each, set up all our Army green men and gray men. Then we'd take those little dart guns, and that's how we played war. You got to knock down everybody's soldiers and stuff. And it was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. Like, honestly, like so much fun, because we had imaginations back then. And I don't want to say kids don't have imaginations today. It's just, it's in a completely different form. It's in video games and everything. We have Ed, my moderator, my second moderator, Action Face jumping in, HK Viper, and then Derek Hoover saying getting the kiddo to sleep, but wanted to say hi peak season is over. I can actually pop into chats. It is great to have you. Even better if you don't have to yell at someone in the chat because they're acting foolish. I think he's the only Thursday with a friend that yelled at somebody that was in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tony yelled at someone in the chat for Adam, and come to find out that Tony was really in the wrong because the guy was trying to have fun. All right, so you remember like the Army, a lot of hand-me-downs, and I feel like we grew up in that age where we had all the hand-me-downs.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't really think too much about it. And I feel like adventure people are Tony's trying to, it was not confirmed, all right. Yes. He felt so bad the next day when it was pointed out to me. It was like, hey, he was trying to play along with you guys, but he had it wrong. And I forget what episode that was. It wasn't, it was just a one-off that we did. Anyway. But I felt like we had a lot of different hand-me-downs, and you didn't really think about it back then. We all had the adventure people, all the Fisher Price stuff, and you found some ways, to make things work.
Mm-hmm. Lincoln Logs had a bunch of Lincoln Logs.
That's another toy that I think will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never going to be huge. Like, it's never going to be Lego.
No.
But it's always like that is like in the minds of kids. And the worst thing about Lincoln Log, and I have a small display for my ninjas, for the classified ninjas. You think you have more than what you do. And then you realize like it takes a lot to build something, especially that's going to fit a 6-inch figure.
I think my favorite toy I had as a kid was a stuffed lion, but it was hard plastic. I think it had before I got it, it would have like a cord you pull and it would growl or something, but that was broke before I got it. But I just love that thing.
You said stuffed how if it was hard? Like,
well, it had like the hard plastic on the inside, had stuffing around it.
Oh, okay. So flocked.
No, it wasn't flocked.
You almost explained flocked in many ways.
I know what flocking is. It's not flocked.
So does Robo, and he hates it. I'd love to have him on just to be like, all right, you got to explain this hatred for flocked stuff. But hey, there's a lot of people that feel, touch, smell like it repulses you in some weird way, right? That's why we're all different. All right, so being a 72 baby, the fact that you didn't see Star Wars when it came out, what was the first toy that you fell in love with? Do you remember? Like what line? Not toy, but what line?
Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Yeah. But like I said, I just made up everything. I had their names off the cards, but yeah, I loved it.
So you were able to actually play Star Wars and not reenact the movies.
Right.
Now, so I can't think of his name, Australian guy. I apologize right now. I haven't seen him in a while, actually. I had him on, and he said, hey, we hit Star Wars. And someone's gonna be able to tell me, I'm sure, in the chat. He was on when we got attacked by the Bobcat attack. Ed, what's his name? It's gonna drive me nuts. But he was saying like we didn't have Star Wars, like we did see the movie, so we were able to act it out, or we acted out how we wanted, and I envy that because I could never do that. I could never. Yes, usual Mike. That's it. Usual Mike. Thank you very much, guys. I feel bad, like, but I couldn't do that with Star Wars because it was like it was so ingrained. It was such a iconic piece of film for us, just iconic for who we are. Star Wars always had to be played as Star Wars. So guys that were able to branch away from that and do something different or had their own lore, I really envy being able to play like that. So that's awesome that you were able to do that.
Yeah, I wish I could remember how I played with them because I played hours and hours and hours. And even though my brother and me are close to the same age, we never really played together.
Okay.
We
So you
like,
didn't have there was no built-in play friend.
well, I mean, if we played sports, yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Was he into different things or was he one of those kids that wasn't into toys?
No, he liked all the same stuff I did. It's just, you learn to share when you don't really have a ton of stuff. So he would
Okay.
take stuff, and then I would take it. We never fought over it. Never.
So you didn't really fight with your dead man jumping in here saying, "What is up, people?" So you didn't really fight with your brother, but you also didn't play together.
Right. Kind of our own people, our own guys. We weren't raised with a whole lot of "I love yous" and this and that. So
Yeah, but it seems like, especially living on a farm, I'm
uh-huh.
assuming kids couldn't have been that close to you.
No.
So it's just you two, and you're living on a farm. I would assume you explored what kids don't do these days.
I mean, we moved away from the farm when I was 10.
Okay.
That's when we moved to Columbus, which is a city, not a farm like we lived in.
And we're talking
So
about not Columbus, Ohio.
no, Columbus,
Okay.
Indiana.
Thank God. And I knew it was, but I just want to double check that it's not Columbus, Ohio, where the Ohio State is.
I do not like Ohio State.
And no one should unless you live in Columbus. Uh, we got Whiskey Wisdom jumping in here saying, "Cheers." I have never seen Whiskey Wisdom at all.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Now, is this one of your guys?
Never seen him before.
Oh, well, welcome. And if Matthew sends me something, it sends me a text going, "Dude, this guy's in all the time." Well, then I apologize. There's a lot of people that never have a reason to want to, say anything. And then finally they decide to pop in, and it's great to see new faces and, get new voices in the chats and everything. I'm sure you know what it's like.
Oh yeah.
You really, again, you do this enough, you definitely start to notice, you really start to notice new people that come in or that people that aren't there all the time. And you do notice the people that are there all the time when they're not there.
Right.
Not that it's a bad thing, but you're just like, hey, I haven't seen so-and-so in a while.
After a while, you kind of worry about them if you haven't seen them in a while because they were always there.
Yeah, especially if you're not seeing them anywhere else.
Right.
He is saying you can thank the YouTube for the page. You can thank the YouTube for your page. I thought I'd drop in and check it out. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Greatly appreciated. Like I said, it's great to have new people popping in, and you're popping in at a perfect time to learn about somebody else, not just my dumbass. So as you go through Star Wars and you're start going through those early ages of toy playing, what other toys did you get into? Was there any other properties that you fell in love with?
I mean, I really loved Mego. I had a lot of the DC superheroes, and I know a lot of people don't like them, but I love Star Trek. I had all the Star Trek Megos. I had the transporter, had the bridge. Okay. I mean, it was all hand-me-down stuff, but I didn't care. It was so fun.
But when you're at that age, when you're young, I don't think you really think about like if this was hand-me-down. Maybe if you came from a very well-off family that you might look down upon getting something like that. But I think a lot of people, some of their favorite toys that they had or properties that they had to do with stuff that was given to them.
Yeah.
And again, that's a time where, not every family had a lot of money.
Right. We did not.
Big Emma jumping in here. And again, I think most people, myself included, the Star Trek thing is there wasn't a lot of action But I had a lot of the Playmate stuff. I collected a lot of the Playmate stuff, and now when I look back at them, I do. I think they're pretty enjoyable.
Hmm.
They have a very special look. They have their own look, and it sucks that they brought them back, but then didn't really make them the exact same scale.
Right. And
Which
it didn't
didn't.
last long. They're gone now. They don't
No,
make them
because
anymore.
you can still go to the any con and buy them for cheaper than what Target was selling them for.
Yes. I had all of the Playmates. It came out about the time, about 90, 91. I
Yep.
think they started coming out. I had them all on card because back then I was just collecting them because I love Star Trek. But everything got ruined in a flood. I lost all of it.
Oh. So did you keep the stuff or was it destroyed?
I wasn't thinking like I would think now. Now I'd be like, all right, I'll take them out. I'll play with them.
Yes.
No, back then I was so mad I burned them all. I lost over half my comics, a bunch of movies, everything.
Wow. You and Daredevil Dave should talk because he lost everything in, I believe, Katrina.
Ugh.
Yeah, he lost a lot of stuff. Which is, I mean, you guys should talk about how awful your luck is.
It was bad. Oh yeah, it was bad.
So the Playmates. Now what about G.I. Joe and Motu? Because that's what you're big into right now. Was that
82 was a great year. I was 10. I got my first Joe breaker. I started rolling, getting all the Joes I could. Even though we didn't have a lot of money, my parents always made sure we had a good Christmas. I don't know how they did it.
you know what? And my parents were the same way. Especially with having my birthday 4 days after Christmas. My dad was always like, this is not getting combined. And I remember him yelling at not yelling, but sternly talking to like uncles and like, no, I have to show up for your kids. We're not combining the two. I think many parents really found a way to, and again, they used to have a thing called layaway.
Oh yeah, I've used it a lot.
They had a thing called layaway. So God knows how long ago they may have put that stuff in layaway at Kmart. It might have been that January they started paying for it, and we didn't really know.
Yeah, maybe. I never asked. I was just always so thankful. And one time I got a box, like the old sweater boxes.
Yep.
And I was just like, I'm a kid. I don't care about clothes. But, so I'm a little sad. I open it up and it's full of carded Joes. No sweater, just carded Joes. I was so surprised. I'm so happy.
My parents did that a few times too. And we've done it for our kids too, especially when, they were younger. It's one of those things where it's like you're kind of trying to trick the kids into thinking they're going to get something that they probably don't really want. But then it's like this is so much easier to actually wrap. It's actually easier to do than if I wrap the cards or this toy by itself. But hey, it's kind of like a 2-for-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 82 G.I. Joe comes out. What was it about G.I. Joe?
I was always into like war movies, army stuff. I was in a group called, it was not Boy Scouts, it was called Future Soldiers of America. We did like Boy Scout stuff, but
was this a militia?
Kinda, I think. I don't know. I was young. But I always wanted to join the army.
Okay.
And when I finally got the opportunity to, I couldn't because I was high risk for diabetes, which I did not get for another 20 years. So,
okay.
I really wanted to join the army.
So it's the military stuff. And I think that's for a lot of us. I mean, I think the toys, it was like you're looking at those Star Wars, which were just wonderful size and all the vehicles. But then you're like, wait a minute, I can actually bend the arms.
The knees.
The knees, right? And then it didn't take long that they said we need to swivel the arms, which was huge, but it also helped prevent snap thumbs.
Yeah.
And you got Breaker, so he's probably the most. Him and Scarlet are probably the two figures of the original figures that have the most thumbs that are still around because he didn't have a gun and hers just kind of popped right into place.
Yeah.
And very few people played with Scarlet.
I
Yeah,
did,
that's
but
my
I never
original.
gave her a crossbow. I don't know. I just never liked the whole idea of going into battle with just a crossbow. So I always just gave her a gun from a
But
weapons pack or
you're okay
something.
with the leotard.
Yeah, it was like 10, 11.
Did you realize it was a leotard?
I thought it was, I mean,
I didn't. I didn't until just recently when someone pointed it out and I went, holy shit, it is a leotard. And then you look at it, you're like, how did I not know that was a leotard?
yeah.
She should have been jazzercising this whole time.
Especially didn't have the leg warmers.
Well, she does. Well, I guess she has the boots. But yeah,
Just boots.
someone do that. Someone give her leg warmers. Gun Bunny Customs, are you still here? Let's get some leg warmers for our classified Scarlet. All right, so that's G.I. Joe. What about Motu?
My favorite Motu figure as a kid was Clawful. Played with him. I could actually mix all my lines and play with him. So he was, start choking out Joes and Star Wars figures with his big claw.
See, that's not something I could do. Like I could mix some of the military style Sergeant Rock figures, which they were 5 POA, I think maybe 6 POA. And I did have some of the A-Team figures, but there were a few other figures that were like that. I could mix those into it. They were always gonna be cannon fodder no matter what. But Star Wars, no go. Never gonna happen. He-Man was a different size. He was never. So I do envy the people that didn't have an issue with that.
One of the things both me and my brother did, we always talked about when we was kids, was we love comic books. We love superheroes. But honestly, there was no good superhero toys back then. So our Joes became superheroes. He-Man became Hulk. We played a lot, with what we had. We made what we wanted out of it.
My son, and he had anything he wanted for the most part. He has an Iron Man. He still has it. It's in pieces still. And I have one back there. And I said, I'll always have it. It was from the Iron Man Mark III. It's from the movie. And he'd play with it. And every now and then you'll see me repost the picture that there's a whole bunch of parts because I was buying figures and just fixing them. But he would play with that every single day. You'd hear him all day, like before he went to bed. But he played with it as different. And I watched him. He played with it as Green Lantern. And he had a Green Lantern that was 6-inch. And I just remember, like, I've never seen a kid love a toy as much as he loved that toy. And I said, I'll always have one of those. Like, I'll always have one. They're not easy to find, and they started to become more expensive.
Yes.
And then when his mom and I split up, he had to have one there and one here. And then I had to have a backup because it broke one day. So I had to have a backup there and a back. And of course, I'm the one that's buying them.
Right.
Yeah. Quickly, Rowdy Riles is jumping in here saying, howdy.
Hello.
Okay, so here's the question. Motu.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that it was called Masters of the Universe, or did you just call it He-Man?
He-Man.
Thank you.
Yep.
It was not called Masters of the Universe, right? Like, it was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
So we shortened it. He-Man.
Yes. But if you go and look, it is Masters of the Universe. I'm like, but
but at the end of the day, how cool does Motu sound? You know what I mean?
I didn't know what Motu was until during the pandemic.
Yeah, me too.
When people kept referring to Motu. I'm like, what the fuck is Motu? And they're like, Master of the Universe. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, sounds great. I like it.
But when I got back into skateboarding 10, 11 years now, I was reading everything again, and I never I never quit skateboarding. I stopped skateboarding, and I'm reading all this stuff about popsicle sticks, right? And all the boards are called popsicle sticks, right? And we never called them popsicle sticks. It was the evolution of skateboarding. And so I'm hearing, and so I know they're talking about the new modern boards, right? Which aren't modern because they've been like this since the mid 90s, early 90s. And here I am, I'm reading this article and they're talking about the popsicle sticks. And like, yeah, we started calling them popsicle sticks because they're shaped like a popsicle stick. And I went, motherfucker, you have got to be kidding me. I have heard this for years and never realized that's why they were so it happens, just jumping in here, saying evening everyone. So let's see, Crash is saying my kids love He-Man. They have over 100 vintage figures in Castle and Snake Mountain. And I did a video quite some time ago now about that the Origins figures or Origin toys were like the best toys for kids and their parents because they give you that nostalgic feel. They had more articulation,
Way more.
but you didn't have to worry about them breaking. If you give a classified to a kid or even a Marvel Legends, there's a good chance that he's not going to last a week or so.
Right.
There's too many things. The O-ring is gone, and even with the O-ring, it's not the easiest to stand. Those Origins, they stand pretty good. They take a beating. You can still pop and swap and make your own figures, which I think is one of the greatest things about He-Man. But really, when you think about He-Man back then, all you really did was swap the arms.
Yeah.
Till they got too loose, and then they wouldn't even stand up. They wouldn't even stay up. So as you start getting older and going into like middle school, are you still playing with toys?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. So in middle school, did you did the other kids know that you played with, or was it kind of like your secret?
No, God, no. It was just me, my thing. And by then my brother was out, so I got all his too.
Okay.
And I had a nice big, it's like a big box that I can roll in and out underneath my bed. So when friends were coming over, put them up.
So you didn't let them know.
No, no.
Okay. So it was your little secret. And then come to find out, and I say this all the time, like I feel like we all kind of hid it. And now when we look back at it, we're like, everyone in middle school was still playing with toys. It really isn't until you get in high school that's really when it kind of gets put away because so many other things are happening in your life. And you do start to think of it as being childish. Maybe not collecting them and keeping them, but actually playing with them.
Right.
I
always liked as a kid, we didn't collect toys. We played with them.
Yes. And I always correct myself when I say, hey, what did you collect when you were a kid? You didn't. There were a few. Johnny Reno, his parents were collectors, so he collected stuff. But he said, my parents made sure like we get like 2 of each. So we kept one in the box, but we opened one. So he still was playing with them, but very few kids collected. And you're right, like we played with them. Because that's what toys are technically there for.
Yeah.
Like when and I'll say it again, like when people are losing their minds because Target or Walmart or Amazon is just cramming the figure in a box, as annoying as it is, those are not collectors. They think, hey, as long as the product is in good shape, just like if they send you a fan or, an air fryer, no one cares about the box. As long as the product inside is good, that's what they're looking to protect. We're like, no. So as you get into high school, does everything change? Are you still buying toys, or do they kind of get put on the back burner and you move on to young adult stuff?
Well, I still had my toys. Really wasn't buying new ones. But I didn't have a lot of friends. I was picked on a lot. So most of the time I would spend reading comic books, reading a book, or still messing with my toys.
Well, did you find, and I find a lot of people, they transitioned from toys into comics because you could get away with comics more because first off, they were easier to put away and kind of hide. Or if you had it, you're just like, oh, hey, I like reading these comics. They're actually pretty cool. And no one really looked down upon that as much as if you had some new G.I. Joe figure that's
Yeah, I always did both.
okay. No, but you said you kind of stopped buying stuff.
Yeah, well, stop buying toys. I
Toys.
kept getting comics.
Now, did you get into sports, music, anything like that, or
I love sports and music. I would let's see. You don't like my favorite band, so
I don't know what
uh,
it is, but you're probably right.
MXPX. That's my favorite band.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of theirs.
Yeah, but I've always liked that kind of music.
They're a Christian band too, aren't they?
No,
One of the bands is a Christian band that you wouldn't think.
they were on a Christian label when they started when they were 15.
Maybe
Right.
that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. And I'm not saying anything wrong with
No.
that. I'm not saying anything wrong with that. I was thinking that they were. There's a few bands that are Christian bands, like some punk bands that you don't realize. It's about as uncommon as a conservative punk band, but they do exist, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So did you get into like the punk scene, or were you just kind of in just a
Yeah.
band and just not-
I've always liked. There's a local band is Sloppy Seconds. Did you ever hear them?
I did. I have.
Yeah, they're just right up the road from me, Indianapolis, and I love them.
Well, this is true, Ryan. MXP are fine, or MXPX are fine. Lawrence is a weird one. It's not the first time that I've heard that. Clint Jorgensen jumping in saying the punk band Bush is coming back. Some of those bands in the 90s, I got to really know because my first car didn't have a CD player or a tape deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first brand new car, and the skate shop that I worked in, it just had just a radio. So I listened to a lot of the radio in the night. It's the only reason why I know any of the 90s music, if it's not punk.
I'm not a big fan of most of like the alternative stuff.
And it's not for everyone, believe me. Action Figures sold separately saying, can't you tell you're not making Christianity any better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
I really like them. Everybody's welcome to their opinions. I've seen them twice in concert in the last year, and they were great both times.
In the last year, wow.
Mm-hmm.
No, again, I'm not. I will tell people that something they like sucks because I don't like it, because I want the pushback.
Yeah.
I want people to stand up for what they, and that's how I've always been. Because I tell people that soccer sucks. Soccer does suck.
I love soccer too, by the way.
Soccer sucks. But I've had so many people, and they're like, "What if I tell you skateboarding sucks?" I go, "It doesn't change how I feel about it. Just like me telling you soccer is awful, and like watching paint dry doesn't make it any less fun for you to enjoy, right?" I don't understand how you can enjoy it, but whatever. Guy I do another channel with, he loves soccer.
Oh,
He'll bring it up every time that
the only time I've ever been to the Big House was to see a soccer game.
You mean Michigan Stadium?
It's the Big House, right?
Well, yeah. I wanted to make sure because yes, that is the name. Yeah, the nickname is the Big House, but it's Michigan Stadium, and I just wanted to make sure that's what you meant.
I seen my beloved Manchester United play there.
Did they really play there?
Yep.
That's how much I would pay attention to that. So you're a sports fan. You like soccer. Do you like football?
Yeah, it's like my third favorite sport.
So are you a college football fan?
Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was angling at.
Notre
I
Dame's
thought
my
maybe
team.
you were going to be excited over Indiana actually
Oh, I'm very excited for him. Very excited.
But that's not your team. Notre
No,
Dame is your team.
Notre Dame's my team, but I'll root for IU as long as they're not playing my boys.
So Notre Dame,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to tell me MXPX is
Mhm.
not a Christian band.
Nope.
Here comes Shark Guys jumping in here. So Notre Dame, the second winningest college football program behind the University of Michigan. I wasn't expecting to be able to say that.
We'll get that back. I ain't worried about that.
I doubt that. They're so close, and unless if Michigan really falters and one goes the other way, we have Crusty O'Crow jumping in here saying, "Hey Punk, or hi Punk, hi Casey, hello chat. I'm late in announcing it. Well, good job. I'm glad you announced it, and now you can announce your departure too." All right. So you are a football. So soccer's number one.
Probably 2.
Okay. So what's number one?
Baseball. I love baseball.
Really? Can I ask? Like, you like the two very slow. I'm not gonna say boring. They are boring.
I
The
was
two slow-
raised on baseball. Me and my dad bonded over baseball.
But I feel like
It will always have that.
Well, I feel
Yeah,
like most people our age grew up
Yeah.
on it. Like that's when it was. So, what was your team living in Indiana?
Cincinnati Reds.
How far are you from Cincinnati?
About 1:10.
Okay. So is that the closest team then?
Yep.
And you grew up was it during the big red machine time, or was it right after?
Towards the end of it. I mean, I was born in 72, so I mean, I did age into really loving Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and all that, but they already won the 2 World Series before I really knew what was going on.
Okay. That's I always like, again, Michigan is like we have all 4 major sports.
Mhm.
And we actually have 4 major sports now because the Lions actually are a major league sport, major league team. They weren't for many, many years, like 60. So I always wonder when people don't have this, like, who do they root for? But again, that makes sense. If you're only an hour and a half away. But how far are you from Notre Dame?
About 1:45.
Now
The other way.
Now is Notre Dame because of a religious background, or just you saw them every Saturday?
Honestly, I was raised atheist, so I didn't find religion until later on in life,
Okay.
and I found it on my own terms. And I think that's why I really like where I'm at. But yeah, Notre Dame every Saturday, just loved it. It's a good fit for me now, especially. So
So that's what it was. You saw them on NBC because they have their own contract. They have their own contract. That's why they won't join a conference, and that's why they got shut out of the playoffs.
they should have been there.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Should have
Hey,
joined the Big Ten a long time ago.
Now, what they should have done is won those first 2 games.
Well, there's that too. There is that too. I don't want to get into college football playoffs because I'm like 8 was fine. You didn't need more. I was fine with 4. I was fine with 2. I was fine with the old way.
Yeah.
There's 12 teams get in. I don't want to hear people complain. If you didn't make it, I don't want to hear you complain.
Yeah.
That's 12 spots. We've watched college football long enough. Stu for lunch jumping in here saying, taking the shirt, Casey, evening to all.
Thank you.
All right. So what is about soccer? Like, what drew you to soccer, especially because you said Manchester, which obviously is not even in the country.
Right. It's in England. Just, I think it was ESPN2 like 20 years ago, middle of the night, flipping channels, and I seen a soccer game. I'm like, you know what? I played soccer as a kid. It was a lot of fun. I'm just going to watch this. There's nothing else on. And by the time that game was over, I was a Manchester United fan. I found a way a couple years later to get a channel where I can actually watch a lot of the Premier League games, and it just kind of took over.
That's why I'm a huge dodgeball fan because of ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho. ESPN 2 was legit.
Well, okay, you say ESPN 2. How are you not a huge hockey fan? Because
I like
NHL
hockey.
tonight.
I like hockey.
Okay. Archangel Michael Mars jumping in here. And same with Graf, ESPN Eldos.
Yeah. But
That's what I-
Dodgeball is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
it is one of the
I love it.
It is one of the most stupid, funny movies, along with Anchorman. I know a lot of people don't like Anchorman. I don't know how you can't like Anchorman.
Never seen it.
You've never seen Anchorman?
No, it's on my list to watch. I just haven't got around to it.
We went and saw Anchorman. It was me, my old best friend, and what eventually would become my kid's mother. And I would just say that her sense of humor is different. It has changed, but it was different than ours. We went, and I can remember literally having tears in my eyes, and she's not even cracking a smile at the theater. And we were dying, and she's like, "That movie wasn't funny." We're like, "No, that movie was hilarious."
The movie's hilarious.
Over time, she changed.
That movie's got so many hidden little things to it that it's just so funny.
The whole crew, like those guys, all the movies, not all the movies, but certain movies that they did, really strikes that chord.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I didn't want to see Something About Mary, and then I finally saw it, and damn, was I like pissed that I didn't see it in the movie theater. And have you seen Something About Mary?
A long time ago.
I remember at the end of Something About Mary going, "Oh my God, how do we not know it's Brett Favre?" Sorry. Shocker, guys. She's dating Brett Favre. But you find out she's a 49ers fan.
Well,
it was as obvious as The Sixth Sense, but you didn't know it until the end.
As a Bengals fan, I don't like the 49ers. Never will.
I believe that they actually lost to them in the Super Bowl at the Pontiac Silverdome.
As I say, we lost them twice.
Yeah, I believe once was in the Pontiac Silverdome. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't a huge sports fan as growing up. I was a skateboarder, so I didn't care about any of that stuff. That's why I got older and I realized what I was missing out on. All right, so let's just as you start getting out of high school, you've kind of established that you kind of like some sort of punk. I don't want to get too punk, like, and people are like, "I'm not that punk."
It's really my favorite music.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite bands then? Like
Dead Kennedys, like I said, MXPX. I like some bands you might not consider punk because they're more pop punk, but I like the Ataris.
Ataris aren't awful.
That's who I seen MXPX with both times. Jeez, like I said, Sloppy Seconds, freaking love them. I like. It's gonna sound soft, but I like Blink-182. I like more of the pop punk. I admit that.
You find something that when you hear it, you feel like you can sing, and it grabs you. I have all the respect for that. Whether or not I like the music or not, that's how music has always been for me. It's kind of I need to be able to sing. I need to be able to feel like what they're singing. I could have written.
The Bomb Pops, love the Bomb Pops, and
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just broke up a couple years ago. But it's like two really, really pretty women singing in a band, and they're just awesome. Masked Intruder, I liked them too.
So I heard them, and I liked a couple songs, and then I heard more, and I was like, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, I like them.
No, and again, I don't want to.
No,
I feel like I'm like criticizing. No,
I don't think everybody has to like the same thing. So if somebody doesn't like something I like, I'm cool with that.
God, I hope not. I hate when people be like, not everyone's like you. I'm like, well, that's good, dude, because
Yeah.
you're a bunch of assholes out here.
If we all like the same thing, life would be pretty boring.
It would. It would. I mean, that goes to the whole like collecting thing where people are like, so the fact that people get mad about scales blows my mind. And I'm sure we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. Like, you don't have to like someone's scale to just appreciate it or be happy for someone else that they're getting, they're getting something that they enjoy. You may not be getting it right now, but who knows? Down the road, that may come. Or you may go, I really like this.
Yeah. It's like I always say, if you don't like something, don't buy it.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Now, again, I will sometimes criticize certain things in certain companies that I feel don't make a good product. But that's, you're talking about quality and, what they're pushing out and price and different things like that. Super 7 is who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think the same way.
Sorry, I can keep it in.
No.
Someone's like, what company are you talking about?
I had a feeling when she said overpriced, I was like, oh, Super 7.
They are. Yeah. And I've talked about Joe fans, like the classified guys that we're seeing, like the ultimates, and they're like $55 for a figure. And I'm like, the saddest part is these people are mad about they're mad about the wrong thing. They're seeing $55 price point for a G.I. Joe figure that is a little bit taller than classified, and they think it's ridiculous because at the time classifieds were $20. But that's not why people don't like the $55 price point. $55 for a figure is like, oh, okay, no big deal, right? That's how toy collectors are. But when you get poor quality, especially when you've had Mythic Legions and you're like, all right, so this is what they give me for $50 and that's what you're giving me. So, but
I have an addictive personality. I admit that.
Well, we're toy collectors. So.
Yeah. Well, I learned to jump out of stuff quick because I got like 5-6 Mythic Legions, loved them, but I realized, I started doing the math in my head of what's going to cost me to collect this line. So I sold them all. No regrets. And I did the same thing with Operation Monster Force. I thought that first wave was really good, but for $40 a piece, it was just too much for me.
It is a hefty price.
I'm happy for everybody who can afford them and love them, but it wasn't for me, not for that price.
And Stu for lunch saying, I hate when a deli is using the wrong scale. Only time I get mad.
Yeah.
Then Graf here says, Punk is loaded with all the YouTube money. $55 a figure is change found in his cushions. I really wish that was true. No, you're absolutely right. The Operation Monster Force stuff, it is a hefty price for what's now, I think they're $40, right? Or are they $38? Either way, they're closer to 40 by the time you pay taxes and everything. And I've said it before, there are some of those figures in that line where they give them less accessories. And we know what they're doing. This is their cost cutting.
Right.
And I said, hey, if I got to call Super 7 out for doing a snarf that costs $55 when it should be cheaper, and you have to do the same thing about the companies that you enjoy, right? You have to be honest across the board and be like, hey, I love that there was a multitude of hands with certain companies, but after a while, I don't need more hands because they're all the exact same hands. Just the gloves are painted maybe a little bit different or the hands are a little bit different. I don't need that many hands, and if that's where tooling gets cut, then cut it and lower the price. Now, again, before someone says it, yes, I understand Valaverse has lowered the price. They're the only company that has, and that that's good on them. So it's the only good thing I'll say. They actually make a fine product. And Jay Astro jumping in and saying $55 for Snarf is a sign of the toy apocalypse.
Maybe.
All right. So, as you graduate high school, do you go on to college or
Mm-mm.
you go right in the workforce?
Yeah. Well, I started working in high school. I actually have what's called a good enough diploma,
Okay.
a GED.
I know what that means.
Yeah. I got pulled into the office one morning at my high school and they said school's not for everybody. You need to go get your mom to sign these papers. I don't know why, but it worked out. I made up for 4 years of high school in one afternoon. So
Isn't that crazy that it's not that long ago that some teachers, some school districts, schools, like they thought that was acceptable.
yeah.
And
Well,
again, I'm not even saying like I'm not one of those people that says every kid needs to go to college because I didn't go to college. I went to some community. I ended up dropping out. I got lucky in the career field that I'm in. Uh, but it's crazy to think because school is more than just graduating.
mhm.
It is getting that social experience of getting to meet people. Because other than during school, you graduate or right after school, those first few jobs is really the only time you're making lifelong friends.
Yep.
Multiple lifelong friends. I look back at like my first job and I'm like, as much as I hated it, I look back at it very fondly and how much fun we actually had.
Oh yeah. I had a lot of fun with my first couple jobs and I moved out when I was just about 17. So, I had to support myself from there. So obviously I have no toys then, no comics then. But my parents still stored all my stuff for me. So
So your parents kept everything.
yeah, yeah.
And that's good. Like I know
That I still had. My brother got rid of a lot of my stuff, but everything I still had, they kept.
I need more hands to give 4 thumbs down if you know you know. Alright. um all right, so you graduate or I'm sorry,
Same
you
thing.
left school, whatever.
Yeah.
You move on past high school. You go right into the workforce. Now, did you get a career or were you just kind of bouncing around, still trying to figure out what you were going to do?
I never really gave much thought to careers. I was just, whatever job's going to pay me the most at the time.
Okay.
Uh, I did that for quite a while actually.
So, what did you end up doing? Do you mind me asking?
Now or
No,
then,
no, no. Back then, like what were you doing?
I worked for, I don't know if you got them there, Noble Robin's Pizza.
Nope.
It was in, I know it's big in Indiana, but was. It's all pretty much dead now. But I worked there, then worked in another restaurant, then moved on to warehouse work, which is what I do now.
Okay. So obviously, if you're now, were you still living at home?
No,
Okay, so you move out, so you don't have money to collect anything other than hopefully a roof over your head, some food.
I mostly ate at work because I worked in a restaurant, and me and a friend rented a basement. That's where we lived.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you doing like after the high school days? Like your late teens, early 20s. What are you doing like for fun?
Listening to music and drinking a lot. That's what we did.
So you had money for drinking, but not for toys.
Yeah. I was putting priorities in the wrong place back then.
Hey, there's one thing that I never did.
I know.
Most people know that.
Yeah.
I was again, I was if I look back and added up how much money I spent on skateboards, I think it would blow my mind and blow everyone else's mind. And like that's something that's never once paid me a single time. Like never have I done a hobby that I spent so much money that I never get anything out. You don't get to resell the skateboards. Like they're
break
either
'em.
broken or trashed. And even if you did sell me something like 10, $15 just so you have a little bit to put towards the next one, so you're drinking, hanging out. Now, were you going to a lot of concerts? Like,
We went to a bunch of concerts. Yeah.
no.
Bands that I don't even like, just because there was no internet, there's nothing else to do.
Okay, so you're a concert guy, and I know there's a lot of people that aren't concert guys, so they don't understand. They never will, and I feel sorry for those people. Are you a big arena guy or a club guy?
I prefer the smaller venues, but I've been through, like I said, I've went and seen bands I hate. Def Leppard, hate Def Leppard. But back then, seen them 3 times on the same tour because there's nothing else to do. No internet. It was before the internet.
But that was when you found. I know we found new punk bands by reading the insert of the cassette tape and seeing what bands they thanked. And then we'd go to the record store. Yes, if there's any young people watching, there was a thing called record stores. They literally focused on records, tapes, CDs.
Yep.
Some had music, or some had movies, but mostly it was just music. Posters, and posters were huge.
T-shirts.
Yeah, that's how we found it. Or what label they're on, especially with the punk bands. Epitaph, right? Here's Epitaph, and what bands are on Epitaph. That's how we found Pennywise through skate. Well, we found a lot of stuff through skate videos, because come to find out, they talked about it, and they're like, yeah, we were trying to get music, and then one guy knew the owner of Epitaph, Greg Graffigan, and they were like, hey, can we use some of your music? And he was like, you can use anything you want, because he knew that unlike these big record labels who wanted money to use they were like, man, if we let them use the music, people will find it and come. And that's exactly what happened. Right? Is we found all this stuff, and it was awesome. I wouldn't say Sam Goody, but technically you are right. That was a record store.
We had Karmas. I don't know if you guys had Karmas.
No, we had Harmony House, which became Blockbuster Music. Yeah. I wonder why Blockbuster went bankrupt.
Well, Karmas are just smoke shops now. They don't have CDs or anything anymore.
But you probably had the independent ones too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we had. Record Time. That was the big one. And you just go there, and there's all kinds of music, and you just found stuff organically, or opening bands.
Oh yeah.
Like, when you found an opening band that you liked, it was so shocking, because you normally didn't care if you missed the opening bands, but sometimes you catch that one and you're like, this is pretty damn good.
I went to a big arena concert just for the opening band and left like 3 songs into the main, because I wanted to see Suicidal Tendencies.
What show was it?
It was Lights Camera Revolution.
No, I mean, what was the arena show?
Judas Priest.
Wow.
Yeah, I after about 3 songs of him high pitched screaming in my ear, I was done.
So I'll say this: I've never seen Suicidal Tendencies.
They were awesome.
That's one of the ones that I would eventually like to see. And Lights Camera Revolution is their best album.
100%.
And you can, You Can't Break Me Down is their best song.
Yep.
You may not think that it is, but you're wrong.
It is, yeah.
It has everything of how a young kid is feeling.
Yeah, it did.
Damn internet killed everything. I love you, internet. I didn't mean that. It's a love-hate, right?
It is.
But I'm one of those people, like, if the music doesn't fit on this, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't collect records. I used to collect all the CDs. I used to collect tapes. I've never been a record person. That's one thing. I mean, not that I never had any. I just wasn't into it. I don't like the sound of vinyl. It just doesn't sound as good, no matter what you say. But I know people like that not crisp sound.
Yeah. I like records. I just got a record of a band that broke up 10 years ago. and I just discovered them like last month, and I really liked them. So I got their
No.
record.
And again, a lot of people love that record sound, and I hate it. I'm just like, especially I fought CDs for the longest time because to me, I was like, tapes you can just take out and you can throw it in the CDs. They had to be placed back. Once everything's digital, everything's on that phone. I don't care. Get it on that for me.
I just remembered another band I seen, and I had to go all the way to Detroit to see them. It was Flogging Molly. Love that
Oh,
show.
I've never seen Flogging Molly.
It was great.
Not a huge fan. I do like some of their stuff. They do have one of the greatest skateboarders of all time in the band, Matt Hensley.
Yep. Accordion.
Yep. Isn't it's crazy. And yeah, I know they play here a lot because I think the girl is from Detroit.
Yeah.
Or from the Michigan area. I think
From
she's
Detroit,
actually,
yeah.
Is it Detroit or I thought it was Flint? I thought it was something like that. Either way, they have a lot of stories actually about Michigan and the economy and stuff like that.
They had Street Dogs open up for them, and Street Dogs is good too.
Oh my god! Here's Toy Optics. This asshole Punk flogs his Molly all the time. Yes, I think most of us men do. I've never got to see Street Dogs. And I'm just going to say this. If anyone is a fan of Dropkick Murphys and they like their more punk stuff more than their Celtic stuff, then you will like Street Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he was the first singer of
Dropkick
Murphy. So if you hear their first album, that's basically what you hear, but it's all punk. Street Dogs are very underrated. Very underrated. And he's a former military guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a firefighter.
Yep.
So he's put his time in. So I love when bands will sing about the military and about the soldiers, right? Or the Marines or whatever, what they go through. Not so much about what they're doing, right? It has nothing to do with it. When he sing like his songs, it's first person experience. And you get a whole different look at everything. So, yeah.
It was a great show. It was a great show.
That's one band that I've never got to see, and I don't think I ever will get to see them. But there's a lot of old hardcore bands that are coming around that I'm like, okay, well, I guess you just never know, right? Anyway, Matthew says Molly killed a lot of people in my area. All right, so you have made it up to Detroit then. I don't know why didn't you call me?
I didn't know you. It's 2015, I think.
It wasn't that long ago. It's only 11 years ago.
Maybe even longer. I don't know, but it was a great time. It was a little sketchy because we stayed downtown in a hotel and we walked 6 blocks to the venue.
Okay, so they would have played at State Theater.
I can't even remember the name.
Okay,
I know we had to go by a line where the Tigers play.
Yeah, so it's not called the State Theater anymore. I'll always call it the State Theater. It is called shit. I won't ever call it what it's called. But if you watch one of Rancid's videos, I forget what video Rancid, they have it in it. Like the driving down Woodward there. It's gonna drive me nuts. I was just there I wasn't there the other day. It's a wonderful venue. We actually saw Guar there.
Ooh.
And if you remember how it looks, it's very nice inside. So on the side there, they had plastic all draped up so they wouldn't ruin anything, which really kills the sound because everything there, that sound is meant for a specific reason. And when you see Guar there, no. Comerica Park is where the Tigers play. This is across. It's directly across. It's directly across from there. It's again directly across. State Theater. If someone looks up State Theater Detroit, you'll see what it is. I don't know why I can't think of it. But it's like right there. It doesn't even matter, but that's where they played because that's where they always play.
I was in the balcony, and
Yep.
when Flogging Molly was playing their song "Salty Dog," the bass, it kept dropping. It felt like the balcony was dropping like a good 12 inches every time that bass hit. I'm just like, oh my goodness,
If
it's
you
awesome.
Okay, so if you watch the top, you'll see it. You'll see a bow.
Yeah,
Like you'll see that venue bow, but it's there. It's meant to do that so it doesn't just collapse.
it was
Um,
fun. I loved it.
we went and saw. I hate when like I can think of it. It's a movie there, based in Detroit. Um, Christian Slater.
True Romance,
Yes, we went and saw True Romance there,
love that movie.
which is weird. How that's the first time I had seen it too. I had never seen it, and everyone's like, "It's based in Detroit. Let's go see it." I was like, "All right, let's go see it." And really good movie.
It's great.
But I haven't been to that venue in a long time. Like a real, I think the last band I saw, I've seen Slayer there. I saw Slayer there with Biohazard, Rancid with the Lunatics.
I've seen Slayer
Yeah.
like 5 times. I've seen Biohazard. Guess who they opened up for?
Think of it all.
Insane Clown Posse.
Wait. Well, no, I guess that makes sense. Did you talk about Insane Clown Posse to Cobb Webb when you had him on? He's a huge Insane Clown Posse fan.
Nice.
No, not nice.
Nice. I've seen them 4 times.
I'm sorry for you.
They're great in concert.
They're great wrestlers. I went to the wrestling event. I went to the wrestling event. All right. I went there. Their music is awful.
It's awesome.
That's just me. That's just me. Yeah, I've seen Biohazard many, many times. Them and Sick of It All many times. But no, that's awesome. See, we have a lot of, we've never talked about the music thing. Like we've never talked to music. Which is odd considering most people want to talk, well, bring that up to me, especially if they know it's something in the same realm of what I might like.
Yeah.
Because I get the question of like, so are you, like you say you're a punk with toys? Are you into punk music, or are you just saying you're a punk? I'm like, it's kind of a play on words, but yes, I'm a punk rocker. So, but I'm so interested. So you stayed in downtown Detroit.
Yeah. And we walked six blocks, easily 6 blocks. And it was February. It's freaking cold. And it was all right on the way there, but on the way back, it was freezing. And we're passing all these clubs that people are waiting to get in line. You know, they're in line.
Yep.
And all the women got like mini skirts on. And I'm just like, it's like 10 degrees.
Were you in a nice hotel?
Yeah. Hotel's nice.
All right. So you must see. All right. So you were in downtown Detroit then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because when you said you stayed in a hotel in Detroit, if you're not in downtown Detroit,
yeah,
you were not in a nice hotel.
You know, and it's sketchy whenever you go out of town for a show. Which
Yes.
You have to do a lot nowadays if you're going to see a show you want to see.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife went and saw MXPX and Atari's. Atari's opened up because MXPX is great. In Chicago. And we got a really nice hotel. But you know how many gunshots we heard that night and sirens? We couldn't sleep.
Yeah, it's one of, again, I'm from Detroit. Well, I'm from the area, so I know my way around. And again, it's one of those things where I'm not going down a dark alley alone.
Right.
I'm not stupid. It has that reputation for a reason, not because it's all sunshine.
Right. I'd be
I
like,
think
come
it's
on.
awesome that you've traveled out of state for different concerts.
When I was in my 20s, we went to Columbus, Ohio, which is not my favorite place. Friday night we saw one of my all-time favorite. I like rap too.
Okay.
One of my all-time favorite rap bands called Cottonmouth Kings. They played Friday
I know the
night.
name.
Yeah, they played Friday night. Then we stayed the night, and Saturday, ICP and Twisted was playing. So it was like a great weekend away with just the boys and music, and it was fun.
I would have rather actually hung out at the Ohio State, I think.
I had a great time. It was fun.
No, and that's one again, like it's the experiences that you have. And if you like that stuff, again, there is something about music, and there's something about again, I'm not an arena guy. I've been to a couple, it was taking my daughter. There's something special about being in a club and being that close and seeing like the main band walking around on the floor when the opening bands are playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no one's hounding them, and not everyone's trying to get, you know, signatures and everything. But yeah, Clint Jorgensen says ICP can be brought up enough on this channel. I think he meant can't be. Oh yes, it can be. All right, so as you're an adult and you're working as you're going through your paces of new jobs and everything, how do you meet your wife? Because you guys have been together for quite some time, correct?
Met her in high school.
Okay.
And I knew fairly early on that I was going to marry her, honestly.
Did she know this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she knew this.
I'm sorry. Olivia and I have started watching 90210, and there's some really creepy stuff with David, like just looking in the windows, and the girl's like, "What are you doing, you creeps?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
you can't just show up to their party and like look and take pictures through the window. When was that ever acceptable?"
Yeah. Remember, this is all before cell phones and internet and all that. I think I was 16 when I met her. We didn't start dating right away. But
so when did you guys start dating?
I'm probably 17. I would say.
So you've been with her your whole life?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so you've been with her your whole life. I mean that's your whole adult life.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you guys have split up at times, which I know some people do. I think it's strange that people split up and then get back together. I'm like, don't you know how that movie ends? You can go rent it, not from Blockbuster, but you can rent it from somewhere.
Didn't you leave for a reason?
I've had so many people ask me, like, "You've never thought about getting with your ex?" I'm like, no, I don't think she thinks about getting back with me either. It's like, I know how that book ends. Not great.
Yeah. I don't know. I knew early on that, it was going to be great. And it has been.
No, and no, that's awesome. I mean, you have, so you guys got together pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys move in together?
We started living together when I was 18. She was 17, but we had different rooms, and we lived with her parents.
Okay. So when did you have the basement apartment?
Oh, that was before that. I moved out of the basement and in with them.
So you've been on your own for quite some time.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm assuming that it was after high school, but you were on your own for quite some time then.
Yeah. Honestly, the relationship with me and my parents at the time I moved out was not great. As soon as I moved out, it got great. We got to where we were calling each other, spending time together. When my dad passed away, I was actually supposed to spend the day with him watching football. But my mom come over in the morning told me that he died that night.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was 21.
Yeah, like I said, I was 13 when my mom passed away, and I don't think it gets easier as you get older.
Right.
You may understand how to deal with it a little bit better, but it's never easy.
It never gets easy. It makes you a little wiser when you have younger friends that say they've cut their family off, they ain't talking to their mom and dad, and you're just like, hey, you only get the one set.
Um, no, that's my son Andrew. Roman is downstairs due to his he has a bad leg, so he's not allowed to come upstairs right now. So I'm sleeping downstairs with him because he sleeps with me. And when my daughter has tried sleeping downstairs with him, he starts whining. So I'm like, it's just easier if I sleep down there.
Yeah.
We tried it last night. Didn't work again.
I've got a 16-year-old Dotson down here. She can't make it up the stairs anymore, so we had to go puppy pads.
Oh man, yeah, and Roman is 9.5 now, and he's not like aging. He just somehow, I don't know. We got to take him back in on Saturday, and they'll look at his leg again. So it's one of those things where it's like, and the doctor said, hey, at his age, the way he jumps, his weight, he easily could have tore his ACL. There's something wrong with it. Hopefully it will heal on its own, but more than likely it's going to need a $3,000 surgery. Which, I'm sorry, I should be laughing about it. But
no, I get it.
Like, all right, if it's my biggest issue with him, if he needs the surgery, and here's Roman right here. If you don't know, there's Roman Duke. My biggest issue is that they said if he has a surgery, you're looking at like 3 months of recovery. Yeah. And if he doesn't need it, you're still looking at like 3 months. So it's kind of like if he ends up needing it, who knows how much longer it is till they get the surgery. Then we're adding another 3 months onto it, and trying to keep a dog, and you can't talk to the dogs. They don't understand. Right. They start feeling better, then they start running, and then it goes bad again. So, and we've already had to put one puppy to sleep last year. I'm like, and not that he's ready. He's not ready at all. But that mortality made me think, like, man, that was a rough day. That was
for sure.
Awful day. No, Roman. I had somebody make Roman on the Duke shirt. So I just call it Roman Duke. He doesn't have a middle name because he's a dog, and they don't know that they have middle. They don't know they have middle or last names. I used to always yell at my ex because she said she gave our little dog a middle name because his name was Sheldon, so she called him Sheldon Cooper. That's his middle name. I'm like, he doesn't have a middle name. He's a dog. He doesn't know. All right. So you've been with your wife pretty much your whole life. When did you guys get married, and when did you guys start having kids?
Got married in October of 92. I was 20. She was 18.
I wasn't even graduated yet.
And we had our first daughter in 94. We had our second daughter in 96. Then, unfortunately, we had a miscarriage. But then we ended up having our youngest daughter in 2000.
So you have been stuck with women your entire life.
Even 3 of the dogs here are female. It's just me and this brute little Shih Tzu. That's my daughter's dog, but he's here. Yeah, we're the only guys here.
I love Shih Tzus. I would just say that. I had a Shih Tzu growing up, and then the dog that Sheldon that we just he passed this year. He was a Bichon Shih Tzu mix. So I have but I've never had a big dog till I had Roman, and he came by, and I can't imagine like ever not having another big dog if I have another dog.
I don't think if once these are gone, I don't think we'll ever have another dog. Just because, I don't know, the emotional attachment.
Yeah, after Sheldon, after the whole Sheldon thing, we were talking about it, and I know Pop Blender was in. He was in, and he's like, "That's why I don't get." He's like, "I'll never have a dog," and I understand. I understand that because you're more than likely gonna outlive them, and you don't really realize how much how much you love those, those guys. But I don't know, like I like when my ex first moved out and took the dog because I could do whatever I wanted, and then I took Roman, but then it becomes that like he's there for you for everything.
Yeah.
He's not gonna like he's the one person that's gonna be there for you. But yeah, and the Matthew says, it says, "Oh, you will. The house will be too quiet."
I remember working third shift and coming home and feeling like the only ones that cared if I came home were my dogs, because everybody else was, the kids were in school, my wife was at work, and it was just me and them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very attached to my dogs.
Yeah, I think most people are, and there's some people that are cat people.
I have an outside cat. I live in town.
We call
It's
that
a stray.
We call it a stray. I have a whole shitload, and it's probably how he hurt his leg was chasing after him.
But my dogs bark at everybody and everything that goes by. They love this cat. I've actually tried to get to come in. It won't come in.
Not my dogs. He hates them all.
Oh,
He did.
I have a mutt. My daughter's two dogs are here. One is the Shih Tzu, and one is the standard poodle. And they all, every time I take them out, the cat comes up, rubs on them. They play together.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy that you can't get the cat to like.
won't come in. We bought her one of them.
He knows it goes to you. Like
Yeah,
comes to
just
see
won't
you.
come in the house. But we feed it, and my wife ordered it a little feral house because of the cold, but she won't use it. So
I just saw this kind of is like along the same line. I just saw this reel the other day, and it's this lady, and she's in her house. She's like, that's my dog. That's my dog. And then there's a dog sitting on the couch and says, that is not my dog. But he broke through the fence a couple weeks ago. So he's been coming over here and playing with my dogs. I feed him, but he goes home every night and sleeps with his family and then comes back the next day. So technically the dog doesn't live here. And it's crazy because it's like, you could tell, like, it's just like, hey, we're just a family now. Like these other two dogs are my best friends. I'm going to come in, I'm going to hang out, but I know that I'm going to go back the next day.
See, if I was the owner of that dog, I'd be worried about where it's at.
Well, no, it had been a while because obviously they had talked about it and said,
okay,
he broke through the fence, and so now he just comes over in the morning and hangs out with the dog. So I take it for walks and I feed the dog, and then the dog goes back at night and sleeps. So she's like, so technically I don't own the dog. So
yeah, sometimes the pets pick you,
Oh yeah. Roman definitely did. There's no doubt about that. That was a whole mistake. Where someone posted, "Is anyone interested in a dog?" I asked about it. She goes, "You're interested?" I'm like, "No, not at all." And then I was up at the girl's work. She worked at a restaurant, and she's like, "Hey, that dog's here if you want to see it." I'm like, "I don't want to see it." And then sure enough, she comes back, and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to see it." And that was it. I said, "Hey, can you guys come up here next week? I need to bring my kids up, see how they interact with them or how he interacts with them." And I'm like, "What do you think about the dog?" And they're like, "Oh, we love it. We love it." I'm like, "You want to bring it home?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "It's ours if we want it." And I could not think of a better dog for the family. He's been wonderful for me. That's for sure. Anyway, enough about sad dogs. The only thing that's not wonderful is I got to sleep downstairs on the couch, and he's 65 pounds and he doesn't understand the personal space.
Yeah.
Or when he moves, he's moving you.
Yeah. Dogs usually don't.
No, they don't care. I tend to agree with this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But dogs are still not the little people that you spawn.
No, but they're more trustworthy than most of the people that you will meet nowadays.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Like what? Like I don't know if you ever heard the thing where someone says, "Who do you think loves you more, your wife or your dog?" And of course, your wife's always, "Oh, I do." And they say, "Well, put your wife in a trunk for an hour, and when you open it, see how she acts. Put your dog in there, and then open it and see how he acts." He's not going to attack you. She will.
She might. Yeah, she
For
might.
good reason too. But
Oh yeah.
all right. So you have 3 daughters.
Mhm.
Now, are you collecting anything? Are you getting into a space where you're like that, or are you like not even into toys, not into anything like that?
When they were little, I
Yeah.
really couldn't afford to collect anything.
Okay.
You know, I do comics because I worked at a comic book store part time on top of my full time job. So I get comics for cost,
Okay.
and I would get them. They loved Pokemon, so the DVDs of the Pokemon cartoon, I would get those there through order, and uh, it was a fun job. I worked there for 6 years. I loved it.
Now, and I say this all the time for collectors. I feel like when you're a collector, you're always going to find something to collect, whether it be something inexpensive. When you have kids, and I always say collectors should not have kids. Did you have an issue with your kids always needing everything? Or were you not in the spot to even think about that?
I was in because my wife didn't work for the first 8 years of us having kids.
Okay.
So, you know, I lost a job back then. I made $11 an hour, and that was good pay for that back then. Lost that job because I wouldn't go along with cutting everybody's pay, but letting them work all their overtime they want. I'm like, that's not right. So they fired me.
Matthew, you're so right. Damn kids are so needy.
And it doesn't get any easier when they're older.
I need diaper. I need to be changed. I need to eat.
Kids now are like, hey, I need help with my phone bill. I need help with the rent. I need this. I mean, they were cheaper when they were younger.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my ex, she still supports her daughter, my stepdaughter. Way more than I feel that she should. But she's in California, and I also don't hear about this either, too. I hear it when Susan's bitching to me about all the money she's given Emily and Destin, and I'm like, how come I don't know? Like, how come I don't know anything about this? Like, you know,
California. I've been to California once in my life, and I don't think I'd ever go back.
It's always where I wanted to move because skateboarding. And then you find out, like, I just recently talked about this where they're like, these pro skaters are like, yeah, everyone thinks like everything's right around. It's like, yeah, this spot here was in California, but so was this, but they're an 8-hour drive away from each other.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're like, hey, let's hit this, get this video filmed and go from there. But yeah. Oh, like Crash, I think we all love being a dad.
Oh yeah.
I just don't like the cost of being dad.
Yeah. It's definitely pricey.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is. And at sometimes they aren't as grateful as they should be because they don't understand.
And they will. They will one day.
And you hope so. When you have a kid that tells you like I had to explain to them. When I say, when you say, hey, can we go to Taco Bell? And I say, I can't afford Taco Bell. I don't have the money for Taco Bell. And, oh, well, you bought that toy. I had to be like, I want you to understand. First off, it's my money. I'm the one that spends it. And when I say, hey, I don't have the money for it, it means I don't want to fucking buy that. It's not that I can't afford it. It's that I don't want to spend $30 at Taco Bell. I have the money for it. That's just our way of saying I don't want to spend the money right now.
Yeah, and I also don't want to drive across town for it. So.
Yeah. So when your kids were younger, you weren't buying everything for them.
No. What do you? No, they were in the Bratz dolls. They were in the
Did you
Barbie.
feel like you had to buy them all?
No, my kids were never like, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I gotta have this.
That's
Birthday.
not what I asked. I asked, did you feel that you had to get them everything?
No, I felt like I had to keep a safe roof over their head, keep them fed, love them, and help them out with, anything I can do for them.
Like having a complete collection of Care Bears.
If they wanted it, I probably would have got it, but they didn't.
my oldest, my stepdaughter, there was like these 9 Care Bears. They were just remakes. They were only at Walgreens, the only place I ever saw them. She had all but one of them, and I would search for it. And I remember her mom being like, she doesn't even care. I'm like, but she has all but one.
Yeah.
You're not understanding.
Maybe
It's
if
like-
I understood the Bratz stuff more, I probably
Yeah.
would have been more like that, but I didn't.
And I remember Susan being like, so this is for you. I'm like, pretty much. But the point is, there's 10 of them. She has 9. There's
That's
only one more.
incomplete.
Yes. I love the hunt. I do. That's probably why I hate going to Targets and Walmarts nowadays, because you're not going to find anything. I love the hunt. I always find that fun. It's way better than going to BBTS.
Oh yeah.
Because you're going to get it. Even like Sergeant Reds, like you see it in the shop and you're like calling them up and say, "Hey, put one to the side for me." It's still the same thing. You've seen it. It doesn't happen as much anymore, especially especially for what I'm doing. Like, I'm actively trying to get stuff early so you can get the reviews as quickly as possible, because it does help. It's not everything. It's not the be all end all, but it definitely does help. But all right, so you have 3 kids that you're not a crazed collector dad, which is good. Probably saves you a lot of money. Or else you end up with a bunch of shit in your basement that you're like, why do I have this? I have no idea where those damn Care Bears are. I'll just say that. I have no idea where the Care Bears are. But all her Justice League figures, I have all downstairs.
Nice.
She was
My youngest is 25, and her birthday is coming up in February. And we're getting her all the she loves Stranger Things. So we're getting her all the Stranger Things Care Bears.
Oh.
So she's gonna get those on her birthday.
See, there is a Care Bear connection here.
My wife was a huge Care Bear fan when she was little, and I bought her some when they did start doing the remakes, and she buys all these shirts and stuff. She loves Care Bears and strawberry shortcake.
So she understands. Oh man, so you have it perfect, because she has something that when you're talking about your collection, she understands the issue.
Oh yeah. She knew what she was getting into.
Like my ex, she had no connection to anything. She really had nothing growing up. And when her dad came and got her, she wasn't able to take anything. So she very rarely had anything. And so it's one of those things where she doesn't understand. She didn't understand my love for skateboarding or for music. Didn't understand my thing for collecting, where my kids aren't as into collecting as I am.
Mm-hmm.
They like certain things. Olivia likes Stitch, so I guess that's not true. Olivia knows pretty much she can get almost any type of Stitch thing if it's like reasonable. Although I'm like, there's nowhere to put it in your room anymore because you won't clean it.
My granddaughter has a big old Stitch doll she carries around.
It was hard to find at first, and now it is everywhere, which is nice, but it's also now it's like, before it was like, oh my God, there's Stitch, let's get it and put it aside. Now it's like everywhere you go, you can't walk into Target and make it to the back and back to the front without seeing at least 50 different Stitch things. Whether it be a shirt, a toy, cards, whatever it is.
Comforter set, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is fun. I mean, it's fun and everything. All right. So when did you get back into collecting? Let's talk about that.
My wife says I always collected something. I don't think so. I don't know. Like I said, when we first got married, I was getting all the Star Trek figures. Always I always did comics. Huge Walking Dead fan, so I was getting a lot of Walking Dead figures, but I really wasn't considering myself a collector. I was just finding them on Amazon or eBay. Then
Sounds like
one
you were
day, yeah, well, one day I went to the South Antique Mall in Louisville. It's all toys. It's all it is, antique toys. Me and my buddy Matt, who we started the show together, and we bought our first Joes since I was a kid. I bought a loose, complete iceberg, and he got a Destro, like version 3 Destro, because he's younger than me, and that was his Destro as a kid. And we just went all in together. We're like, you know what? If you get it, I'll start getting Joes. He's like, I'll get Joes, and boom. So I guess 2019.
All right, quickly. So Royal Rooster collectibles, not roller coaster. Picard.
I like Picard. I like Next Generation a lot, but I like Kirk. I like the original series. I love Strange New Worlds. I like how they're gonna like reboot all the original. So that's good.
I think sometimes when you pick someone, people feel like you're putting down the other one, but Picard's the best.
Right. Well, Jeff's right. Cisco's the best.
Jeff is wrong. Cisco is a whiny bitch.
Cisco is the best. Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek.
Now, I think Deep Space Nine got better once. Deep Space Nine, I always enjoyed. Once it got the Defiant, it changed everything because they were able to leave the stupid station. But Cisco took forever to even become captain.
Yeah, he did that all before captain, so he was awesome.
A commander. So, in other words, he was the same rank as Riker and not banging nearly as many chicks as Riker. There are a lot of people that do like it. I believe Matthew's about ready to chime in and say yes. Because he loves, I think he loves Deep Space Nine.
I love Deep Space Nine. It's my favorite.
There's a lot of things that I enjoyed about what they did with the character of Cisco, that he held such a grudge against Picard when he was the cutest. I thought that was great. But I still think he's a bitch for it.
I like the character of Odo. I thought Odo was a fantastic character, something we've never seen before. I like the interactions with Quark. It really made me like the Ferengi.
Odo creeped me out. No, I'm just honest. He creeped me out. Because even though they had makeup on, he wasn't that different than what he really looked like.
No, they just did that to his nose. Yeah.
Like, but like to you or I, like it'd be like a complete makeover. Like to him, it was just a little bit. Anyway. Okay, so you guys get into G.I. Joe. Do you remember like when you think it was?
2019.
2019. Oh,
early.
Earlier. All right. Now, did you start a podcast right away?
No, we were collecting for a little bit. Actually, I don't think we started a podcast until like the first wave of Classified.
All right. So you're collecting. Are you doing more than G.I. Joe, or are you just basically G.I. Joe?
At that time, just straight G.I. Joe.
All right. So what was the first thing that made you branch off from the Real American Hero? Was it Classified?
Yeah, I was getting Classified. I was getting 25th anniversary. I just jumped all in because there was so many years from me and my last Joes. I kept all my childhood Joes until I lost them in a move.
MCR Mazza says Garrick is the best Star Trek character.
One of the best, and I agree.
All right, so you were collecting. We'll just say like 1/18 scale, because I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue mixing my O-rings with the 4-inch figures. It doesn't bother me. I understand that it does for some. Yes, their aesthetics are different, but to me, they can fit in the same plane. So Classified was where you kind of branched off into a different scale.
Right.
So from there, did it lead to other things?
Uh, I mean, I started watching this one guy's show, and he started showing off some Motu stuff, and it made me want to buy Motu. So it branched off there.
Um, do you want to tell Graf who that was?
That was you. It was Lawrence, a punk with toys, and I've got no regrets. I love it.
Graf he just made a comment on some old it was an old review that I did of a Motu figure, and it was hilarious. A comment just comes out of nowhere, and it's just like he's like, "Oh man, look forward to more of your Motu reviews that you're doing." And I'm like, and it popped up on the on the app, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Who?" I was like, "Oh God, it's Graf." Starfighter here saying, "I'll catch the replay, but two excellent G.I. Joe content creators. I remember listening to podcasts from the pit from iTunes many a times while mowing in the summer in the Oklahoma heat."
Nice, thank you.
That may be the best I've ever read a long comment. Now I am going to make it about me. All right, so I got you. I remember you telling me to.
My wife was not happy, by the way. As one of the few times she was upset with my collecting habits because she's like, "You're just focusing on G.I. Joe." I was like,
well, Motu got me too, and I told Olivia like I was looking for classified, and I kept walking by, and I'd see Skeletor and He-Man, and I'd see He-Man and Battle Cat, and I said, if I ever see He-Man, Skeletor, Battle Cat, and Panther all at the same time, I'll buy it, and that's it. And it happened. And then all these figures that I kept walking by, Man at Arms and Tila, Orko. I mean, all these figures I'd seen 100 times at Walmart because I'd go in the morning and I walked by. Then now I had to start finding them, which now they weren't as easy to find, but I still came across them all. I don't think I ever bought anything aftermarket from Motu.
And I guess aftermarket, like from toy stores or something like that. I've bought plenty of Motu that way.
Yeah, I mean eBay. Like I've only bought one. I've only bought one classified off eBay, and that was Destro.
Okay.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, I don't like to use eBay too much.
It's a necessary evil.
It is.
It is a necessary evil. I just bought a Destro and Despoiler off eBay. Never had it, and I hit that watch it going, I wonder if he'll send me, in a couple of days a discount. And sure enough, he did, like 5% off or 10% off. I forget what it was. And I'm like, all right,
I'll take it.
I was gonna buy it anyway for that price, but I figured I'd just wait. And Todd C says I'd pick up Motu clearance every time I see it. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. All right, so you got it in Motu. Has it led to other things?
Let's see. Like I said, I got addictive personality. One of my favorite all-time shows is Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who.
Never watched an episode, but it's been around for a long time, so I know there are people that enjoy it.
I've got a crap ton of Doctor Who figures. So the 5-inch.
Okay.
Because there is a store 1 hour and 2 minutes from my house called Who North America, and all it is Doctor Who stuff. It's freaking amazing.
A whole store for Doctor Who?
Yes, in Indiana.
Now, I hate to say this, like, is there enough product to support a whole store and community?
He's been there a long time, so I guess he's doing okay. I know he's got a lot of my money, so.
Ronnie says, Casey made me buy Motu. Lawrence made Casey buy Motu. Lawrence is to blame for everything.
Yes. I got him at Joe Fest. I got him a Masterverse Battle Cat because I found it for $20 still in the box because he had a Masterverse He-Man and an Origins Battle Cat, and that bugged me. So I sent them home with that.
Those were like $4, and I didn't buy one.
Oh,
They were on clearance.
the
That-
Masterverse?
Yes, they
It's
were
awesome.
on clearance. And so, and I didn't buy one because I'm like, I don't have a Masterverse He-Man. There's no reason to buy it. Of course, I eventually got a Masterverse He-Man, and then you're like,
Yeah.
now they went up to the regular price because that clearance was like gone,
Mhm.
and they had a shit ton at the time, and I never got one. And
Oh,
I'm fine
it's-
with that because I don't have room for it. I have my Origins He-Man and Skeletor Battle Cat and Panther right here.
It's like if I'm buying something, order something big or something like that, and I don't have a place for it, I always tell myself that's future Casey's problem. I'll deal with it when it comes in.
Yes, that was something I started hearing on Geek Dad Life. That's future
Oh,
Jay's
yeah?
problem. Yep. So that became future Lauren's problem.
Yeah.
Problem is future Lauren's problem is here.
Yeah.
You see that thing back there? I did not need a 2-foot Sentinel, but I needed a 2-foot Sentinel because I decided to go all in on the X-Men 97. Do I regret buying it? No. Do I regret not buying a bigger house when I got this? Yes. That's what I really regret. Not buying the toys. It's not buying a bigger house when I bought this place. So, all right. So you are into Motu now.
Mhm.
What else? Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Are you into the 6-inch stuff, or have you started to scale back?
To me, I always talk crap and say 1/18 is the Lord scale because I got so many friends that do 112. I say it's the devil scale, but I'm just talking, crap to my friends. It doesn't matter as long as it's something you like. I like I got a bunch of the AWOC. I think these figures are great.
That is their best figure too.
I love that one. The colors just pop off of it.
Yes, and his jaw is great.
Skeletron.
So good. Do you have a Robo Skull?
That's first. I do. It's right here.
Okay. Such a good vehicle. You hear me, Darren? Such a great vehicle. You should go buy one this weekend.
I have some of these high Star Trek from the movie. Oh, my new thing is
Oh, you are bad. Like
I know.
I didn't. I knew like there was some 112 scale stuff that you liked in military style.
Yeah,
I
I got a problem.
I was not expecting you to start pulling out like all this stuff.
And everybody knows, and I love my Valiverse stuff.
Never heard of that
So-
company.
I won't call it Action Force though. I just call it Valiverse.
That's because what it is.
Yeah, but there's no shame in that.
No, there shouldn't be.
Here's
Well,
my
maybe
new thing.
Maybe there should be. I'm sorry.
Like I said, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, I couldn't buy the toys because of my age. I felt like I shouldn't buy them. I watched the cartoons. I loved it. So you know what I just did last week? I got my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle from 1988.
Wow. I feel like this is partially my fault.
It's a slippery slope. I told you I have addictive personality. And
I get it.
here's how my wife found out that I was getting turtles. We're at dinner last week with my youngest, my mother-in-law, and my wife, and my granddaughter. And we share an Amazon account. And my wife's like, she asked my daughter, she's like, why is Christian, which is my son-in-law, looking at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff on Amazon? And I just like kind of froze. And my daughter's like, he's not. Then I hear my wife go, no. I go, what? She's like, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't buy anything off Amazon. bought it off eBay.
The only turtles I have are my kids' old turtles, which aren't even. I forget what year they were. So I keep them. I'm gonna have to pack them up eventually, just because I don't have space for my stuff. They don't look at them. They've literally just been sitting underneath the shelves forever. But it's time to take them down. Them and the few Star Wars stuff that I have.
Yeah,
Turtles are one thing.
I stopped collecting Star Wars. I don't collect Star Wars anymore. I kept a few of my Black Series, mostly stuff from Rebels or Bad Batch or Andor.
I started to pick up a few, and I mean literally just a few if I see them on clearance. There's very few that I need. The only one that I bought was, well, not the only one. The only one that I bought because I really, really wanted it, not because it was on sale, was that Darth Vader that everyone keeps seeing at Target. That is a great figure. That looks so good. The soft goods are good, and he can fight anyone. I have him fighting Captain America right now. It's I love it. No, I'm the same way. Like it was all G.I. Joe, and then Valaverse came in because it was a military line, but the Motu stuff. And then I started, hey, I want to review one of everything, right? And you realize like channels aren't built like that. Like people aren't looking for that type of stuff. They want you to focus on something. But I started buying stuff that I like. So I got into the Four Horsemen stuff. I always picked up some Marvel Legends, and then you start going more. And I really like the X-Men. I've always liked the X-Men. So now I'm all into X-Men 97, but I see one that I like, it drops. I'm like, I want this. So now this has become an issue.
Yeah. I just want cool toys. It's like me and my wife for our 30th anniversary, we went to Disney World or Land, whichever one's in Florida. I don't remember which.
Disney World. That's where I'll be right after Joe Fest.
We went there and we were on the Transformers ride, which was fun.
That's Universal.
Yeah, well, we went to 2 different parks. 2 or 3 different parks there. Yeah.
Well, because you have Universal, then you have the Disney parks, the Universal parks. I'm just saying that one's at the Universal.
That's fine. So, and what that does is when you get out, you go right into a gift shop.
Yep.
And we couldn't afford Transformers as a kid, so I didn't have any. And I'm sitting there looking at the Transformers. I'm like, man, I really want this one right here, but I don't have Transformers. I love Starscream. I want a Starscream, but they didn't have him. But so I text Ken from Toy Connection, and I'm like, hey, I go, talk me out of buying this. And the words came back that I'll never forget, and I use them now. I'm not that kind of friend. Buy it.
Well, you said Ken, so hold on.
Acknowledge me.
Everyone say hi to Ken. We didn't say hi to Ken earlier. We need to say hi to Ken just in case he shows up. He knows we all said hi to him.
That's another thing. Delta 17. I collect that.
I really do enjoy it. It's not because I feel like I know the guys and I have to support it. I feel that they've made a really good product.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I haven't got any of my what's the one Carson did? Operation Recall.
I haven't got mine yet either.
I haven't got mine, so I don't know. But I think for O-Ring Modern, it's the standard. You're gonna have to. I hope it reaches that level because those toys are fun, articulated very well. I think it's the standard, and I hope if I ever get Longbow, which I went all in on. Operation Recall has been so long, I forgot what figures I ordered. I didn't order them all.
So I don't. I've said this about Operation Recall and Call Sign Longbow. I ordered 4 figures from each. I have no idea who they are. They could give me 4 fucking brand new figures that they designed, and I'd be like, "Yep, those are the ones I ordered," because I have no clue. I did end up because I have one of the ones that I backed for Operation Recall. He's supposed to come Breacher, so I just went. I ordered 4. I ordered the other 4 figures because there's one that has 2 different shades, and then there's 2 other figures. Then I had to buy. I bought 4 figures, 4 more figures. Live issues, 4 or 5 figures, I forget. But I still haven't got any yet. Operation Recall. I'm sorry, Call Sign Longbow. When they come out, we'll see. Now,
Right.
Operation Recall is actually being made in the same factory as Delta 17.
Yep.
So hopefully they'll be on par with the quality. Where Call Sign Longbow is being made in the same factory that Skeletron is being made. And if you have that Skeletron O-ring figure, that's
agree.
the quality that you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that one. Well, I also have the
One,
Ghost.
the Ghost.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked him up at it's only required.
Yeah,
And if you notice, the Ghost Skeletron is the Ghost.
right.
It's almost the exact same figure. And they talked, like, I actually talked to them about it. Like, they told me all about the reason why that is. Let's just say Carson is a really, really not Carson. Ben Conroy is a really good guy. And I'll stand by that. No matter what other people might say.
I've never met him, so I've got no opinion.
You didn't meet him at Joe Fest?
I don't
No.
really. I mean, come on. You have to know I'm a little bit shy.
No.
It's hard for me to walk up and talk to people. You know what I mean?
Just because it looks like we photoshopped you in our group picture.
Well, I honestly, I didn't feel like I should have been in that picture, but Tony was like, "Come on in here."
Why?
I don't know.
There's no
Man,
one that doesn't belong in any picture at Joe Fest, right?
it's just how I felt at the time. I don't feel that way now
Yeah.
because I've met so many more people. Like my first 2 years at Joe Fest, it was just me and Matt. We didn't talk to anybody except for I think the second year I talked to Hooded Cobra Commander. But the third year when I met Ken, that's when I started coming out of my shell a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Now I talk to everybody. I don't care. I just did.
And Matthew, I'm not saying Carson isn't. He does a wonderful job of filling in as our fill-in moderator because you won't go to Joe Fest. But I was trying to say Ben because that's who I was actually referencing.
And don't get me wrong, I've heard great things about Ben. I've just
I just didn't realize you'd never met him.
Oh, maybe I'll meet him at ZoloCon because I'm going to ZoloCon.
Yeah, like he saw me because we chatted a little bit at Joe Fest. He saw me at
Assembly
Required. I don't know why I always forget it. And he saw me standing there by myself, and I was waiting for someone. And he's like, Larry, come over here. And I was like, no. He's like, and he came over. He's like, dude, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting for something. Like, oh, I just saw you standing here by yourself, and I'm like, no, I'm good, dude. And he's like, oh, as long as you're cool. And we talked a bit. Then he saw me sitting by myself at breakfast. And then he came down and he's like, why don't you come sit over here? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just listening to music or whatever. And then I went over and sat with him. And then it was nice. And then it was the next day that I realized it wasn't a complimentary breakfast. You were supposed to pay for it, but I didn't because it was a buffet. Ed says, I think Carson might be nicer to us than Matthew. Well, Carson has not tried kicking our heads off, and we know if Matthew ever meets us, he will. Okay. So you're into collecting a lot of stuff, as we can see, and I didn't realize you collected that much stuff.
Yeah, I got a problem.
Yeah, well, welcome to the community.
Moderation's not my thing.
Man, Space is the problem.
Space is a killer.
Yeah, it's not the collecting. I am the collecting's not the problem. It's not having enough space.
And I could have more room, but I've got like a ton of pictures from Joe Fest where I've met people and had some 8x10s hung up because I mean honestly, you guys are my friends. I'm friends with a couple people around here, but everybody else, you guys are my friends.
And it's weird because this type of community, and I've talked about this before, this type of community is a little different. When, when I'm skateboarding, I'm going places and I'm meeting people and you're skating with guys because that's what you do, right? When you go to concerts, you meet people at concerts because you're listening to music together. When you're collecting toys, at our age, you don't meet someone at a show or at a store and then be like, "Hey, let's get together." And you don't do that. You kind of go your own way. You buy whatever you want. Hey, I hope I see you again. But you get to meet people through this crazy form of media that we have.
Yep.
And it does change everything. Because I remember when my ex and I split up, telling my son, like, these people online are not your friends. You don't know them. Come a few years later, and some of my best friends are guys all over the country, all over the world. Yep. And it's like Joe Fest is the one that I know many of them are going to go there and I get to see them again. And the whole thing of like, you can't make money on the internet. You can't make money on YouTube. Well, that's not exactly true. You can. You're probably not going to be Mr. Beast, but you can make money. There are ways, and I'm not just talking doing like toy YouTube. There are other ways to do it through different types of promotions and affiliates, and there's all kinds of there are other ways to make money. And I kind of feel like a fool telling my kid that, you can't do this stuff. You can't do this. When I just didn't do the research to figure out, like, you know what, you can do a lot of this stuff. He doesn't do it, so it wouldn't have mattered. But so let's go to your YouTube. Okay. What are you doing on YouTube, and where do you see it going?
Well, we do a early morning Saturday show. It's like, people compare it to Saturday morning cartoons from when you're a kid. It's just, we'll get other content creators. Like tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to have Level 7 toys on.
Okay.
So, we'll have in like small toy companies to come on, show off some stuff.
Level 7 is doing what?
They did let's call it the detective that looks shockingly like Batman.
Okay.
At Joe Fest last year. It was a really good figure. But he's doing some like 3 3/4 Masters of the Universe inspired figures now. It's just a lot of cool stuff. They 3D prints. So first time he's coming on.
Matthew says, if my wife was out of the house, I could clean up my areas and make some room.
Yeah, it's like every time my kids move out, I'm like, hey. My wife's like, no, they'll be back.
I mean, I'm just going to say, Matthew, there is a reason why Ed and I believe divorce is imminent with you. But you cut back again this year. All right. So now, are you guys only doing lives or are you doing other stuff?
We're doing lives. I'm not the most technical, gifted person in the world. I have Ronnie made me a little video so I could start doing like little toy videos of stuff in my collection. But I don't edit. I really don't know how to edit.
Well, you've seen what I do. I'm not a big editor.
But yeah, I would like to start doing that. And we are going to start in February. We are going to do every other week evening stream. Not sure what night yet, but the Hillbilly can't do it. So until summertime. So I'll have a bunch of my friends filling in with me, and it should be a good time. But I do want to start making little videos because I think that'll get some growth because we just like crawl like subwise, but we have fun doing it.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've said this numerous times, and I don't know why this is. The majority of channels do not grow subs doing live streams.
Hmm.
I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I really don't, because you'll have a ton of people coming in that a lot of times they don't realize they're subbed. But if they're watching a video, they'll stop it and they'll hit the sub or hit the like for it. But live streams, for some odd reason, it's like, I don't know, it's never made sense. And you can see some of the bigger channels. 3POA is probably a great example. When you look at how many subs they have compared to other people, yet you look at how large their live streams are, it makes no sense. They should have way more.
I mean, every time I've watched, there's always like 500 people watching.
That's what I'm saying. But if you go look at their sub count, it's not nearly as high as you would think it would be. And again, I'll say this, as I've said it 1,000 times. Once you hit 1,000 and you're monetized, it doesn't matter if your sub count is 30,000 or if it's 2,000. If you have 5,000 or 500 people watching and you have 2,000 subs or whatever they have, compared to someone that has 50,000, but they only have 10, 20 people watching, I'll take the lower sub count with the higher amount of people actually watching, because they're just in the algorithm now.
Yeah.
YouTube's like, oh, you like this show, we're going to give it to you. Sometimes you don't realize. Ed wasn't subbed to my channel for the longest time and didn't realize it. So yeah. But yeah, it's one of those weird things. So Ronnie seems really happy about an evening stream.
Yep. Well, we're still going to do the Saturday mornings every week.
Are you shooting for Mondays?
No. I was like, well, I don't want to go up against Punk. So we're originally looking at like Wednesday, but not like we're not going to go up against 3POAs. We'll probably do our own little time. But
I'll say, like, what time in the evening are you talking about?
I don't know, 7 maybe.
So I probably shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this, but on Tuesdays for Circle of Jerks, we start around 6:30-ish. There doesn't seem to be anyone doing stuff like toy stuff at that time on any of the days. So if you're looking at like a Wednesday or a Thursday around that time, you might do really, really well, because that show's just done really well. I'm kind of a big deal, so me being on it has. I don't think anyone are watching right now. No, that time slot has been one of those like, really? There's 150 people fucking watching us. So yeah, I think there is a craving for that 6:30, 7 o'clock toy stuff. So
yeah, I think we're looking at 7 o'clock. We go about an hour and a half.
Clint Jorgensen wants to know why doesn't anyone do Saturday mornings? Well,
I do.
They do.
8 a.m. Eastern. Check us out, buddy.
And his links are in the description. So his Instagram and their YouTube channel are in the description. But yeah, he does every Saturday morning. It's a rough time to wake up.
Except for next Saturday, because I'll be at Winterfest, which is a G.I. Joe show in Louisville, Kentucky.
So I meant to ask you, are you going to Kentuckyana?
Here's my con schedule for the year. We had to figure it out so we can try to like move funds around and all that. So next Saturday, I go to Winterfest, which is the winter version of Kentuckyana. They do 2 shows a year. Then I'll be at ZoloCon. Then probably won't do Great Ohio Toy Show, even though it's a lot of fun. But definitely do Joe Fest. then do Kentuckiana, then do Motu Fest, which is the lead into PowerCon in Cincinnati, which is only about an hour and a half from me.
Yeah, so I want to figure out what this Motu Fest thing is, because is it PowerCon?
They say it's Motu Fest this year. If everything goes well, it's PowerCon next year.
All right. And is Mega J doing it?
I don't know.
That's what I can't figure. I can't, but it's in Cincinnati. That's something. When is that exactly?
It's in September, I believe.
It might be something I might be able to make.
I'm
Okay,
looking
good,
forward
good.
to it because I won't even have to stay in a hotel because it's only an hour and a half away. I
Okay.
can convert that money into toy money.
Graph says Motu Fest is not Motu Universe.
You know, if somebody put a gun to my head and asked me what my favorite toy line to collect right now is, I would say it is Masterverse. With all the articulation, what was it, like $4 or $5 cheaper than a classified, and I just love all the lore to Motu.
Troy Bleaford says that there is collector math.
It is.
No, I have to look into that, the Motu Fest or whatever. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the fuck it's really considered.
Right.
But no, because I as of right now, I kind of meant, I'm doing Joe Fest. Then right after that, I'm headed down to Orlando for a week. So I've been taking 2 weeks straight off of work. Luckily, it's going through the 4th of July, so it's actually only costing me nine vacation days rather than 10.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I'm still going to try and do assembly required.
I want to do that one time.
It's fun.
I do. I want to do that.
It's a really fun show. I can say this: it was 65, I think, or 70. I think it was or high 60s on Friday, mid 60s, and then it started dropping later on that Saturday. They said the year before was like in the 30s and drizzly, which is about right for the area. And like that would make it a little bit, because you're not in the hotel the whole time. The hotel you stay at is connected, but you'd have to walk the skywalk. And it actually takes less time to walk outside to get to the convention. And the restaurants are across the street. So they're not far.
Right.
But you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Once something gets cold, you're like,
Absolutely.
I can walk there, but then it's getting back. You're like,
tell you, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago at Joe Fest. It was
wasn't
so
cold, I'll tell you that
freaking
much.
hot.
It's always hot.
I mean, it was really hot to where we didn't want to leave at all. Like we ate most of our meals right there at the hotel. It was just terrible hot.
In 24 when we went, I know Tony's Figs, big bad Arizona guy, where it's 110 degrees, was whining and crying because of the humidity.
Yeah.
But we walked into town. Well, we did it last year too. It was I mean, the guys had no problem carrying everything that Plastic Fantastic gave me. They were all like, hey, let me carry it for you. It's not that hot. It was really cool. No one complained about it or nothing.
I think it was 23. That was really hot.
I know that and 24 before I left, because I drove home on Monday, and I was waiting for everyone to wake up. We were going to go to breakfast, and I'm like, I don't have a plane to catch. I have to get going. So, and I was waiting for everyone. So, and I had my jeans on, and I started walking that walkway, and I walked all the way to the highway. I don't think there was a cloud in the sky. That sun was just beaming down, and I was just like, why did I do this? Why the fuck did I do this? Because it was rough. And there was lots of people walking, not lots, but there was enough people walking that. It was Monday morning, which I'm like, those businesses are there. I don't know, like people just like go for walks or what, but yeah, it was crazy. And Clint says people from Florida complain about Georgia humidity. I don't know about that.
Huh?
I don't know about that. Florida's pretty bad, that's for sure. But I'll say this: like leading up to Joe Fest, I think the week or two before that, we were in the 90s with like 75% humidity. So I'm like, hey, it's like the warm up. It's like building me up to go there.
I'm
And
getting
then you
ready
don't
for
even
it.
know. You don't even notice. So as of now, you're looking at doing, keeping your Saturdays,
Mhm.
doing an every other week evening show.
Probably Wednesdays.
Okay. Wednesday's a good day.
Yeah. Like I said, it'd be 7 p.m. Just want to have fun, maybe get more viewers, more people I can start talking to. Because I'm serious, this is where I make all my friends now.
You're not the only one. I mean, honest to God, you're not the only one. Even I barely skated this year. Like, just it's harder as you get older, as you might imagine. It's also harder when you don't have people to do it with at an elderly age, where you're like, I want people around because if I fall, I want somebody with the ability to call 911.
Right.
But even then, it's like those people that you meet, most of them are not going to be in my age range. I've tapped out on the majority of the people in their late 40s skateboarding. It's like I already know who they all are. We're probably not skating because we're doing our own thing. Don't really have time. So you're right. I make all my friends through here too. It sounds weird, but it's the only thing that you don't get from this. I think the majority of the people are very genuine. There's a lot that are pretty fake.
You can usually figure those guys out pretty quick, though.
You're absolutely correct. What you don't get from this is the way somebody actually looks. Like, you get their mannerisms, you know the way they look. You don't understand height, width, size. That's the one thing you don't get. Like I said, I thought Wilhelm was a short, fat guy.
Me
And I'm
too.
not the only one. I know you said it, but there were many
yeah.
other people that said it. And then you see him and you're like, he's just a very tall, solid guy.
Yep. Yeah.
And
for sure.
People wouldn't know how short I am if I didn't tell people about my height. And I know people are like, why do you talk about it? It's not a big deal. I'm like, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
It's part of who I am. But if I never told you that I'm 5'4" on a good day, when you'd see me, you'd be like, holy shit, he's way shorter. Because you don't look short on you don't look short on YouTube.
My wife's only 5'2", so I make fun of her all the
time. I'm not 5'2".
She is 5'2", barely 5'2".
And I'm telling you right now, Seth Green is not 5'4" like it says on his Wikipedia or whatever.
Mm-mm.
I am noticeably taller than him, and that's saying a lot. Graf says should go to Motu Universe in LA this May. Punk might run into Tony Hawk at a local skate park. Tony Hawk has a house here in Michigan because his wife is from here. So he's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff here, believe it or not. He has a home here. Or at least he did. I don't know if he still does, but he had a home here. He started a business, or his wife started a business, and yeah. But LA is way, way far away from me.
We when I went to we went to LA, we went to San Diego. Coming back, we drove straight through. It was 36 hours from LA to Columbus, Indiana. It was terrible.
Yeah. I've driven straight to Florida and straight back from Florida 4 times now. I think we've driven back straight through every single time. And the first few times I went with my ex. Last time it was just me and the kids. And we drove straight through. I let my ex drive, and I hate her driving. I feel like she's going to flip the car. And so every time on the way back, when I was ready to switch over, we'd stop. I'd walk around, and I'm refreshed. So I just keep driving. That's like about a 20-hour drive, and that's rough. So
Mhm.
I can't imagine 36.
Well, I was only 21, so
Oh, okay.
I couldn't do it now for sure.
Yeah, so when my daughter and her fiance moved to San Diego a couple years ago. Year and a half ago or something. It was sudden. And Susan was like, "You might have to drive with them." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "They're driving all the way down. You might have to help him drive the truck." And I'm like, "First off, I can't." And I go, "I can't afford to fly back. I don't have the money." She's like, I'll pay for your ticket to fly back." I'm like, "Susan, I go, I can't sit in a car for 40 hours and drive straight through." I go, "We're not young anymore." And she's like, "Well, then I'm going to have to do it." I'm like, "First off, you've had 4 fucking back surgeries. You ain't sitting in a car for that long." I'm like, "We just can't do it. They're young. They'll just have to stop at hotels."
Right.
That's what it comes down to. I'm like, I can't just get in the car for one thing, and because it was literally like the next week or two. Like I can't just I mean, I've taken time off, but that's a whole other story. But like, we don't have the ability to do this. We're not young anymore. You know, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I think the farthest I've driven myself is New York. That was like 11 hours, I think.
Yeah, I mean, something required was 9 hours. 9 hours one way, 10 hours the other way, because you lose an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Joe Fest is rough. I'm not gonna lie, man. Joe Fest that's a 14-hour drive, I think. It's 13, 14-hour. It's a rough drive. This time was easier than the first time because the first time I actually went to Atlanta to
Oh,
stay with somebody and then drove over there. This way, driving straight into Georgia, it was
around
probably about an
Atlanta.
hour longer. Well, this takes me way out and brings us well, not right into Augusta. There's no right into Augusta. But it was, yeah. I'd rather not do it, but it also I enjoy driving, and getting there is not really the problem. It's always driving home.
Mm-hmm.
It's always that. I don't say that I've driven for so long, like for work. It's when you're far away, when you start to know markers and know exactly how long it takes to get home. When you hit a marker, they're like, "Oh, it's an hour and a half to get home."
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's an hour to get home. That's when you start just dreading. That's when the panic starts sitting in. That's when you're like, "I just want to be home. I just want to be home." You get to that 15-minute mark and you're like, "I'm done.
It's like you're looking forward to being there the whole time. So the drive there is not bad at all.
Yes, exactly it.
But on the way home, you're like, man, it's going to be another year before we're hanging out with my friends.
Yep. And then you're driving and you're just like, "I just
Yeah.
want to be in my bed. I just want to
Yeah.
be in my bed." Because then you're like, "Oh, I got to unpack everything too." And like, do I leave shit in the car and just get it the next day? But Joe Fest, but
Yeah.
for Joe Fest, you're like, it's fucking July, dude. I don't care where you live other than Canada. It's 100 degrees somewhere in your car.
Yeah.
Like, is anything going to melt in it?
Yep, for sure.
Well, I want to say this in the description is where they can find you. You've given me over 2 hours, almost 3 hours. I know it is past your bedtime. You're going to crash hard tonight.
I don't know. I just had a Monster and a coffee.
Oh, man. Maybe you won't.
Yeah, we probably won't.
You might be up until your show on Monday morning.
No.
No.
Well,
no.
Never mind.
What?
I was just all this caffeine really helps because I have a slow ejection fraction on my heart.
Ooh.
Like I think it was like 4 years ago, like when we had a big hiatus on the podcast before YouTube. I almost died. Congestive heart failure. Went in on I think it was Sunday night. the hospital. Was not feeling well at all, and I was there for the next 7 days. I wasn't even in the emergency room 15 minutes before they put me in a room. And but people like do you ever listen to Order of Battle, or have you ever talked to those guys?
No.
Super nice guy. Jason Morello, I'm sure you've seen him at AR and Joe Fest. But the other guy, they're just super nice guys, and they checked on me the whole time I was off work for 6 months. It was bad.
What happened?
They don't know. They said, well, your heart's so bad, you must be a drug addict. I'm like, I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. They're like, but you have to be, because your arteries are crystal clear and this and that. I think it was a COVID shot. I wish I had never taken it, but I don't know. I can't do nothing about that now.
So what exactly happened? Like,
I was just having trouble breathing and went to a doctor who sent me to a specialist, and they said, oh, you got asthma. I'm like, that's weird. So they gave me an inhaler. Did that for a month, and it was getting worse. I didn't have asthma, by the way. I've not taken an inhaler since. But there's so much fluid around my heart that my heart can't pump it out. So almost died. They told me first night in the hospital they wouldn't guarantee I'd wake up the next day.
Oh my gosh.
So that's when me and my buddy Matt, who started the show with me, we got a pact that if I passed or when I pass, he'll sell all my toys and give the money to my wife so she doesn't get ripped off.
My buddy said that, told his wife or told his girlfriend, like, if something happens to me, because he's not always in the greatest health. He was like, Lawrence will sell everything, and so you don't get ripped off.
Yeah, it's important.
Problem is, I'd probably buy half of it, and that'd be my problem.
Yeah.
So you're there for 7 days,
mm-hmm.
and they don't know. They really don't know what's.
All they can tell me is, I have a slow ejection fraction. Like they said, normal's 50. That's where your heart like releases.
Okay.
And then low is 30. Mine was 13.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But I mean,
is something they fixed, or
no,
you're just
you're
just stuck with it.
I have a pacemaker defibrillator now.
Okay.
I've had for a few years, which monitors and it's been going really well. I get updates on if I'm having any kind of reactions or anything, but I have to watch my salt intake and anything that's going to slow the fluid leaving me. Like I take water pills, so I pee constantly.
There's nothing they can, like, I mean, there's nothing that they know of that can.
They can't even explain why.
So why did they think you were like a drug user? I mean,
because they said my heart was so bad that's the only excuse that, or the only thing they can figure out, because I don't have any genetic markers for this kind of problem. It's not a regular kind of problem they see a lot of. But I'm like, you've got a bunch of my pee in my blood. Run that.
Where the hell's Matthew at? Because Matthew would be in here. If he was listening right now, he's a doctor.
Oh.
Matthew's one of those crazy guys. Like, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Matthew acts like a know-it-all. The problem is that Matthew actually is super smart. So the majority of the time I'll punch every single one of you. Tell him this. He's normally correct.
Yeah. I've never met or talked to him, but I've heard really good things from Adam and Ronnie. So
they're lying.
Yeah. Now I trust those two. They said he's a stand-up guy. So
no, but yeah, he's there's a lot of things. He's really good with his stuff. I've just never, and he'll break things down into like a common man's when he's, when someone's talking about something, because I've talked to him about things afterwards,
Hmm.
Someone, something's happened or someone's talked about what they've done. But yeah, um, Ultramatch says, me, I'm about 98 to 99% correct. But so what does the caffeine do? Is that something they actually
That's
tell
just
you?
something I tell my wife when she gets on me for drinking Monsters or too
Oh,
much
okay.
coffee. I'm like, they say my heart's slow, so maybe the caffeine will help.
Todd C says Doogie Howser is based on Matthew. His name is Matthew, not Matt. He doesn't like being called Matt. Just so all of you know that. And I found that out the hard way. Because I always called him Matt too. And one day we're doing a stream and we were talking about names, and he was saying how his name's Matthew. He doesn't like being called Matt. And I go, I always call you Matt. And he does this. He goes, I know. And I went, oh, shit, dude. So I always cry. I don't ever. It's become a running joke, but
Yeah.
I also understand it too. Like, I don't care if people call me Larry or Lawrence. It doesn't really matter. But if I introduce myself as Lawrence, your first question to me should not be, what do you like being called, Larry or Lawrence? Because I
It's
just introduced myself. No, that's crazy. And the fact that you don't even know. You're just
No.
like, do you get modern? Like, do you get modern? Like, other than you have the pacemaker. Oh wait, he says that you guys did meet at DFW.
I've never been to DFW.
Oh, see, Matthew, you're wrong. Just gonna leave this up here.
That's the one time.
Everyone tell, not the one time we've called. So everyone tell Matthew that he's wrong.
I would love to go to DFW one time, but I've never been.
I just like that Matthew's wrong.
He's probably thinking of Joe Hunter. Maybe met Joe Hunter
there. But that's just crazy. I mean, that's
in some ways it's kind of a blessing, because after that, that's when I started just coming out of my shell and it's like, you know what, life's short. I'm just gonna have fun. So it is what it is. It's just something I have to deal with for the rest of my life.
It is, and I feel like, I know when people say, "Do you dress up?" and I go, "No, I'm an adult." And they'll come back and like, you collect toys. I'm like, so you see the irony in what I said, right? But if you enjoy doing it, then have fucking fun, man. Like, life is too short. So if you enjoy doing cosplay, I wouldn't say dressing up like a furry. I
no,
not do that. But
I'm not a brony.
Yeah, if collecting something that other people think is stupid makes you happy, who cares? It makes you happy.
Right.
So, do it and enjoy it and be proud of be proud of it. I don't post my collecting on my personal Facebook. That's actually why I started. Well, there's another reasons why, but I just started I just created, I think they call it a group, but basically another profile for a Punk with Toys. So that way I can talk about it. And I don't do it because I'm like embarrassed of it, but I don't want my family asking all the fucking questions because it becomes annoying. And then they want to jump in on your, in your stream, and you're like, yeah, no, because you guys don't get it. Like, then you basically bring down the chat because you don't know what's going on. Yeah. Allison saying, Lawrence used to have a fur coat, but he was mistaken for an Ewok. I like the Ewoks. They're cute. I don't care what anyone says. Well, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you other than at all those cons?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, we do a live stream. We usually have like 2 or 3 people on there with us, just because we like to get our friends on there. And it's not like a hangout or anything. We usually have a topic, and it's just fun. It's just a good time. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Like, we have goals. Like, I want to hit 500 subs before Joe Fest. So we'll see how that goes.
It's very possible.
We'll see how it goes. We did hit our goal of 400 before Christmas. So
And you're over 400. We can get you to 500 easily.
it'd be fun. I think it's just I love talking toys. I love meeting people. Plus, in February, we're gonna start doing the every other Wednesday night stream at 7 p.m. because
Oh, wait,
I
are
go
you
to bed
picking
early.
a date right now?
I'm picking it. I'm picking it now.
Okay.
7 p.m. on Wednesdays.
Are you sure you don't want to go on Tuesdays?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's a fun night, I'll admit that.
But
that has been a surprise for us, I'll say that.
we do have a pretty fun Facebook group, Podcast from the Pit, and we have our Instagram. I do a little X, not a lot, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
I can't figure it out still.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
I still, all these years later, I'm like, there's 3 comments. How the fuck do I get to the comments?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've just given up on it.
It's like the threads. I hardly ever see a threads, but I've seen yours come through about tonight's show. And you's like, oh, what was it? Oh, thanks, Stu. The
Joe Fest is fun. I'm telling you, man, just if you can put the money aside, you will have a blast.
and honestly, I'm asking, you've been there twice. Is it even about buying the toys anymore?
No,
Not at
I've
all.
said it before. I can have everything that I going there for. I could have it all bought within the first hour on Friday.
Yeah.
And if I didn't buy anything, and now I'll know if Ed's here, I'd be happy. Of course, I bought all kinds of shit.
Right.
But no, it is about it's about the show and all the people that are there. But again, I can't speak for other conventions, but it's the fact that you're in that hotel all night. They don't kick you out,
No.
and you're moving from one person to another or one group to another. There's no fighting, contrary to what some people have tried saying. There's no fighting. Everyone gets along.
We're there for the same reason.
Yes.
Every single one of us.
I don't know if I've ever had as much fun. I don't think I've ever had as much fun as an adult with other like adults. Even like skateboarding is completely different because you're skateboarding and again, the thrill of doing tricks is completely different. But when you were done skateboarding, you know, like you went and you pretty much hung out with your friends or whatever. This here, it's like it's everybody's there. And that's why I tell everyone, if you can, stay in the hotel. You don't want to go to a different hotel. You don't want to have to leave.
I have to stay at a different hotel on Thursday this year because Thursday was sold out. But I'll be at the hotel on Friday. You can guarantee that.
Yeah, so like that wouldn't be the worst, but you already know that come Thursday at 2:00 in the morning, you're gonna be like, "Can I just fucking crash here on the fucking couch?"
Well, I'll leave Indiana on Thursday, so we usually leave about 4 a.m.
I was waiting for it. Everyone is there to sit at the bar and be seen. Absolutely correct.
Yep. You know what? I like sitting at that little table outside the bar.
Well, that's where Slaughter came up to us, and
Yeah.
well, I can't say he came up to us. That's where he was kind of given a drink and chose to sit down, contrary to what his manager wanted, and then sat there. He was there for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, fun.
And he would have stayed longer. He would have stayed longer. You know, his manager finally got. Yeah, that table right there, right outside the bar, which you end up at anyway, considering the bar closes at like 8 p.m. It closed at like 10:30. It's
one of my funnest little things from Joe Fest, and I'm sorry to keep this going for you,
All right.
but I had just turned 50, and we were on our way out, me and Matt, and Sergeant Slaughter's sitting in the hallway, drinking a coffee, reading a newspaper, and I had just a couple days earlier got the Cobra clutch and got the coin, and spent time with him, got my picture with him. And I walked up, I shake his hand, I go, "You made a 50-year-old boy very happy this weekend," and he just lost it. He was awesome.
I don't believe that you could have found a better ambassador.
Oh.
And I've heard other people say the same thing. I don't think you could have found a better ambassador for the product.
Mm-hmm.
Because he truly does love being a G.I. Joe character. And more than that, he knows what that character meant to so many other people. So, I mean, it works out for him financially because he's always going to be relevant as long as there's us adults. But he fully understands it, which is awesome. And again, how can you be mad about something like that?
Yeah, he was just great. I mean, it was, like I said, I believe it was the first weekend after the heart and everything that I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go all in, start talking to people I want to talk to, try not to be so shy.
Yeah, no, and that's just it. Like, that's what we're all there for. We're not all there to be fucking cool. Like
if I was cool, would I collect toys? Yes.
There's a reason why there's very few women there.
Yeah.
All right. There's a reason why we don't have the scantily clad 20-year-old running up and down those aisles. All right.
Yeah. My wife, she's going to ZoloCon with me because she didn't want me to drive alone. So we'll see how she likes it. I don't know.
Royal Roosters Collectibles. Sergeant Slaughter turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. He is a traitor. He is a Cobra in my mind. He always will be because, yes, he was an Iraqi sympathizer. And I told him that at Joe Fest. Just so you know, I don't just talk about him behind his back. I told him to his face, you turned your back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. And look, here comes this asshole here at the end saying, I'm cool and I collect toys. Tony's only cool in his own mind. But Casey, I do want to say thank you. You've given me 3 hours of your time. I think that's longer than you guys normally go. Please, in the description, head on over there, subscribe to him, because now we have to get him to 500 before Joe.
I appreciate it. Lawrence, I have had a great time.
Dude, I had so much fun. I've been so lucky with doing this show that I haven't had that one stinker where I'm 15 minutes into it and I'm like, shit, how am I supposed to go any longer? Yeah. This person doesn't even want to talk. I need to get the hell out of here. And you made it super easy because you had a story to tell. And I think this is what people want to hear. They want to hear the story. So, and you came ready. So anyway,
I tried to get a nap in, but I couldn't sleep.
I did. Well, it's probably all that fucking caffeine you have.
Got to keep it going, man.
I will say this: every Monday and Thursday, I get a nap in because there's no way that I'm gonna make it. Because I'll be up till like 2:00 in the morning because I don't sleep and I'm wound up. It's fucking like I just worked out. So
I don't know what that's like.
It's not the greatest. Okay, so Matthew's trying to. Oh, weren't you at JoeCon 2014? There were scantily clad women. Rex Ship was there.
Rex Ship was still in high school.
Anyway, thank you very much. Please head on over. Links are in the description. They better be because I put them in there. Head on over there. subscribe. We got to get him to 500 before Joe Fest, but it's actually much closer than we realize.
It really is.
It's like
Yes.
6 months away.
Yeah, almost 5, honestly.
Well, the end
Because
of
it's the 23rd, right, or around in there. So
no, it's later.
is it later this year?
Yeah, because the Father's Day is the week before.
Hmm.
So it's like right. It's the last weekend of June. But yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Yeah, it's close
Yeah.
to. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, I've got my Joe Fest money put in a special account in the bank that says Joe Fest. I empty it out every year.
Not to mention,
Fill it back up.
I'm looking here. It's 12 degrees here. I'm ready for Joe Fest because that means it's going to be in the 80s and 90s here. And
Yeah,
I'll take it any day.
yesterday morning when I got to work, it was 50. Today it was 21. I'm like, this is insane.
We went from 60 to I think 19 in one day. And I mean, that's Michigan. I mean, when they make the joke about like, hey, in Michigan, you can experience all 4 seasons in 24 hours. They're right. It happens at times.
Yeah, they say the same thing about Indiana.
Yeah, that's why people are sick.
Yeah,
So, all right. Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
it.
Head on over there. I will see you guys all this Monday, and you guys will all see Casey this Saturday morning when you guys all find your way to wake up. I'll do my best, but I make no promises, but I try.
There's always the replay.
That's very true. Everyone have a wonderful night.
Take care.